What's good? What's good? How y'all doing? Hold on, let me get my shit together. Oof. Let me find the right lighting. Oof. That ain't it. Hold on. There we go. All right. We jumping in. I was gonna try to test my HD camera, but I was already running a little bit late, as y'all can tell. Most of the time I'm on time to the minute, so my apologies. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the comment section. Anybody put a 1 in the comment section if you can hear me. I was having some technical difficulties and y'all can hear me? Okay, cool. Solid. All right. We're gonna get into it then. All right, I got your ones. Solid. Well, y'all, thank you for joining me tonight. I haven't gone live in a minute, and I just wanted to touch everybody and talk to people. Ask me anything about anything, relationships and or otherwise, whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about. I'm gonna just go down the list like I always just go down the list and try to get into this and make it interesting for everybody. All right. So, and while everybody's here, if you haven't, please subscribe and hit your notification bells. YouTube is not promoting my channel right now at all. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm getting beginner YouTube numbers out of some of my videos. So if you haven't already subscribed, but you watch all the videos, please do that and hit the notification bell so YouTube sees fit to show my videos, because I must have pissed them off, or I don't know if I'm shadow banned or what, but they're not even showing my subscribers that I have a video. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, let me see. Damn, I can't write this guy is the truth when it all boils down to it. I appreciate that. Man, people jumped into this comment section early. I'm here for the knowledge, love, the advice. When I emailed you the other day, I hope you get it. I may have gotten an email. I know I've responded to some emails and I'm waiting on some responses back. So if you email me and you don't get a response back, please, that's if you go to girltalkwithguys.com. But even if you just email me and you didn't get a response back, for the most part, I don't get to do the free ones as much as I used to. But still check your spam folders. A lot of people say my stuff goes to their spam folder, and I guess Google has caught that I'm doing business from a folder, so it started to put my stuff in the spam. A lot of people who pay for an email get the response and then say, oh, it was in my spam folder. So that's new for me because Google just started doing that to me. Okay, so Jocelyn Pratt, love and respect to you. She said, Kev, I'm a confident woman and I dress with style. And like the lady I am, I speak my boundaries. I have BPD. I'm intense. I'm not sure what BPD is. I know it's probably something obvious, but I'm not sharp enough right now to figure that out. She says, no matter what, I keep having all men just see me as an object. I respect myself. I think that sometimes, again, the dating pool is a more important factor than even what you present sometimes. If you're a big fish in a small pond, or if you're an exotic fish in a very normal common pond, that's what you get. Sometimes you need to go outside of your dating pool, outside of your immediate area, outside of the source you've been tapping into to find somebody that has more of what you're looking for. So, that's usually a fix to most issues when finding someone that you can agree with or find something in common with. That's why I always tell people to join groups of special interests, to get out and find different networks involving your passions, your interests, your goals and hobbies. I think that a lot of support groups and a lot of hobby groups and things of that nature are a very good place to start trying to find somebody who's like-minded, who also has things in common with you. Let me see. Somebody said, I asked this question early so you can think on it. Well, I'm just saying it, so I guess I'll be thinking on it in real time in front of everybody. I just know how to meet good guys because I find good guys, but most of them are players. But I don't have a lot to work with to keep working on me. But I do have a lot to work with to keep working on me. So you said you just know how to meet good guys because you find good guys, but most of them are players. Well, players aren't necessarily good guys at that very moment. I think that it's good for whatever reason that you've seen that your experience with a man is just a snapshot in time. we're all different people in different phases of our lives. In 2006, I'm a different version of me than I was in 2009 and 2013 and 2016 and so on. Not that I was a different person, not that my spirit was different or my motivation was different or my character was different, but I was a different version of me. I was a different person. I had different things to offer the world and to the people around me. So to a degree, men are like that too. A guy can be good and just be in a phase where he's not really taking relationships seriously. So it sounds like you understand that, but at the same time, again, if you're not finding guys who aren't players, who aren't in that player phase, then you might want to go outside of the dating pool that you've been tapping into. Mom, I'm sorry, my son, he just finished eating, so he's moving around. Mom, mommy will help you. It's all good. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Somebody said, "Oh my gosh, Kevin, I was so happy I was able to catch you before your live ends." Yeah, we just started. She says, I had my reminder on. You've literally helped me so much in my relationship. I cannot explain how much we appreciate you. I appreciate you for acknowledging that you're in a relationship and you watch my channel, Seattle Girl. I love that because I want to help a lot more couples. I have helped couples before. I want to continue to help couples. They're actually my favorite clients because they already care enough about the relationship where they're watching my stuff and they're trying to figure out how to bring more into the relationships. Unfortunately enough, when I do relationship videos on YouTube, because I've been branded as a dating YouTuber and not necessarily a relationship YouTuber, YouTube doesn't show almost anybody. Like if I do a relationship YouTube, I literally get like a 1% return on my subscribers watching it. And I get even less for non-subscribers. So I could legitimately get like 3,000 or 5,000 views in the first 24 hours of a relationship video, just because for whatever reason, YouTube does not promote anything that I put the word relationships in. They just don't. But I think that it's still important to do relationship content. In fact, I accidentally released a relationship video yesterday. I like to release my relationship videos at peak times when my channel is the most busy to give them the biggest chance to succeed. But I do a lot of relationship content, and I'm very glad that you and your significant other are watching my channel. Also, you probably like the next video. It's about what was it? What was it about? The next video was about 3 relationship health checks that you can do to make sure that you're still connected with your partner. And I think that that will help someone like you and your partner. So check it out. Thank you for watching, as a couple especially. Paula Jacob said, "Why would a man express his feelings and then go cold when a lady expresses hers, being mutual feelings?" You know, a lot of people don't know what they want. And we think very favorably on the future and who we are, right? We hope that we're ready and capable to be all of these different things. But just like a person who wants a promotion, who sees another person having a promotion, who sees the reward of the hard work, but doesn't see the journey, doesn't see the process of becoming that, right? We all look favorably upon those things that appear to be the reward or the final destination, but we all skip over the process that it takes to get there. Like in our imaginations, we don't imagine working hard. We don't imagine the inconvenience. We don't imagine the discouragement, the low times, right? We don't imagine the sadness, the frustration, the anger that it takes to build something. All we see is the person who's built it and what they're receiving for it, right? And in the same way, relationships sometimes feel like that. They fulfill a fantasy that we have for ourselves and what we want to accomplish. And sometimes, every once in a while, when we're called upon, whether it's to get a job or to have a relationship that we didn't realize was closer than we thought, it's a little bit scary. And we go through this thing where we doubt ourselves if we're able to accomplish what was put before us as a task, if we're able to fulfill our duties in a relationship. Sometimes people get a little bit frozen in fear and anxiety because now they're being tested. Their bluff has been called. And to be quite honest, a lot of people want to be, ready for a relationship. They want to be fulfilling to a partner, and they have inadequacies as it pertains to what they can offer a relationship. But when that person, the person, the object of your affection, wants the same thing from you and they express that, that's very welcome. Whatever fantasy you fill their heads with, or whatever fantasy you're trying to convince yourself you're capable of. Sometimes, like I said, if somebody calls your bluff, it can be very challenging to actually rise to that occasion. And sometimes it can be scary and people be, again, frozen in fear. So either he didn't mean it or he meant it and is a little bit afraid of now the challenge of fulfilling whatever he told you. But I would need very, very specific context to the situation you found yourself in. So if you want to, you can write me on Instagram and I'll try to talk to you about it. Thank you for the $4 super chat. Love and respect to MNW. She says, how much silent treatment is considered too much? After I do something, he doesn't like it. He goes quiet for a couple of days and then acts like it never happened. I think that the silent treatment is too. Hold on, wait. Remind me tomorrow. I think that the silent treatment is too much. You said how much silent treatment is too much. First of all, thank you for the super chat. I think any silent treatment is too much. I think if you're over 16 years old, the silent treatment is too much. I don't think that's appropriate for adults to employ as a means to satisfying an urge to win an argument or a debate or overcome something. I think if you care about your partner, if you care about your relationship and the health of your relationship, I understand going quiet, right? I go quiet when I'm too upset to talk, or I go quiet when I run out of words and I don't want to misrepresent what I think or what I feel, or I don't want to say anything I regret, right? There's a difference between watching your mouth, going quiet, giving yourself a break from the situation so you can gather yourself, than the silent treatment. The silent treatment is, I know what I want to say, but I want them to hurt. I want them to be sad. I want them to be remorseful. I'm trying to force remorse into this person because I can't make my point. Right. And so for me, I'm not a big fan of the silent treatment. I don't think it's a healthy way to communicate your differences or your frustration. And I think that it's more punitive, meaning it's more punishment based than corrective. Right. It's not built to help a person gain an understanding. It's built to punish someone for not understanding. Right. It's like whooping a baby's ass for like not getting it, and if somebody's having a disagreement with you, sometimes the silent treatment can just be a punishment for them getting on your bad side. And as adults, we're supposed to be a little bit more evolved than that. So I'm not a big fan of the silent treatment. So especially for a couple of days, if a guy's going quiet, he's using that as an opportunity and an excuse to escape. I don't know what he's doing when he escapes. A lot of guys do a lot of dastardly things when they escape, but women too. The type of partners who go quiet and disappear and then come back and act like nothing ever happened are usually either punishing you with the silent treatment or they punishing you with what they're doing when you're on the silent treatment. A lot of guys who go screw around on their women because she had the nerve or the audacity, the unmitigated gall to piss them off, right? And that's all the excuse they need in their head to rationalize cheating or other, again, dastardly deeds. So, and I've known women to do the same thing. I know multiple women who cheat on their husbands every time they get pissed off. And again, it starts with the silent treatment. It starts with that separation, it's starting a fight and storming off and not coming back for 2 days, or going silent when you don't live together and being up to other things. So I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's a weak person's way of winning a conflict, and you really never win when you do that. You just take your partner's ability to fight away, and they learn to either let things go or to start moving on their own in separate directions. Okay. I know I got so many questions going down, so I'm gonna try to speed this up. Sorry. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, I think y'all having a conversation. So sometimes when y'all have conversations, I get caught up in the conversations. I'm trying to find a question meant specifically for me. Somebody said, "Thank you, Kev, for doing this Q&A for women. I'm working on preparing myself to get back into the dating world, hopefully to find my future husband. I'm here to learn about men and dating." Yes, absolutely. I appreciate you coming and watching my video, watching my videos, watching my lives, joining the conversation. A lot of people think, I don't know what people think, but to your point about you're here to learn about men and dating, a lot of people write me when they feel like they disagree. I get it. Y'all wouldn't believe how much pissed off mail or I disagree mail or hate mail or whatever you would call it Please don't waste your time writing me telling me about how you disagree. If a comment in the comment section ain't enough for you to tell me you disagree, then you wasted your damn time finding me on Instagram or any other inbox and writing me personally to tell me how you disagree. None of this is to make thousands of people who might watch my videos agree. In fact, if a man agrees with everybody who hears his voice, he's lying to those people. It's not about agreeing. It's about perspective. This is what this channel is about. You're here to learn about men and dating, and I'm representing the men portion and sometimes, most of the time, the dating portion of that through male psychology. So it's not about agreeing. Like a lot of people say, well, I don't agree with, I don't know, whatever I said about complimenting men. It's not to be agreed with. Men like compliments. There's nothing to be agreed with there. It's not about whether or not you agree. Men like compliments. And I think I mentioned men not getting a lot of compliments, and she's like, well, I don't agree. Well, it's not to be agreed with. Statistically, there's nothing comparable about the compliments a man receives from women versus how women receive them from men, right? And that's not always convenient when women receive compliments, but there's nothing to be agreed with. And even if it was to be disagreed with, again, I'm not one who does this to be agreed with. I'm one who does this to offer a perspective that maybe you haven't had. If I was saying the same thing that you all thought, you wouldn't need to watch my channel. If I didn't provide a new perspective or a new way of looking at things, you wouldn't need to watch my channel or anyone else's channel for that matter who didn't challenge your mind, who didn't challenge your thought process, or at least enlighten you and expand on it. So for me, it's not about agreeing. I don't give a damn about people agreeing with me. I respect your opinions, though. Love and respect. Somebody said, Eagles fly. Says, thank you. I already got that. Sorry. Y'all doing your thing. Somebody says, soaking my feet, self-care, waiting for wise words. Malika, love and respect. Thank you for the €9.99. I think that's a euro sign super chat. She said, I walked away because he was inconsistent due to his options and being non-committal. Although he's a player, I'm certain he was falling in love. What are the chances of him returning to the right intention with the right intentions? Low. For the most part, men aren't walking away from the right girl. They're walking away from women that are too good to stay with, too good to stick around with, or but not necessarily good enough to fit whatever image they had in their minds about how their relationship was supposed to be or what their person looked like, or what the relationship dynamic looked like. People who let really great relationships go have normally decided that there's something better out there, or they have this idea of perfection, and it's very difficult to meet someone's fantasy. That image becomes a real hard thing to match, and it's almost impossible for the right girl to finally become whatever image they've created for their perfect person. That's why people get to be 55 and you ask them, well, man, you've never been married, you don't have kids, why? And they always say the same thing, well, I haven't found the right person. You've been dating for all these years, you've never found the right person. I think you found 4 or 5 of the right person. You just don't believe they're the right person because you have this issue with perfection. Nobody's ever good enough. You have a pie in the sky mentality about what's really out there as opposed to what you got. And some people are just really never going to be pleased with what they're offered and what they're given by people. You can't work to fit somebody's description who has this affinity with perfection or the idea of somebody who's fantastical in the way they present love to them. So for me, I don't worry about if people are going to come back with any different intentions. I think if you are quite frankly dumb enough or dumb enough to leave, then you should stay where you are, because ultimately that means you could do it again, right? Most of the time, people who leave once will leave again. Sabrina Newman, love and respect. Thanks for joining the conversation again. We've spoken before. She said, hey, Kev, long distance relationships work out. Does long distance relationships work out? Love your videos. Thanks for the great advice. Again, thank you for the super chat. Long distance relationships can work out. Again, I've said this many times, and lives are long. They be hours long, so people don't have time to watch them. But we've discussed long distance relationship in many of our lives. Long distance relationships work out when a few factors are met. There's a passion that exists between two people, so you're not just trying to get familiar. You've become familiar, and you're passionately involved in each other's lives, and the result of each other's lives, and you start to care about what happens day to day with each other. Uh, they also work when there's an identifiable, a measurable, and a time-based goal, and clear goal of when you're going to get back together, when you're going to meet each other in person, when you're going to be able to bridge the gap. If you never know when you're going to get back together, if you never know when you're going to be able to live a life in person, if you're just going to date indefinitely forever, through long distance, it almost never works because people lose that enthusiasm. Thank you, April, for the $2 super chat. YouTube didn't show me, but I can see it, so I appreciate you, April. But yeah, long distance relationships can work out, but both people have to be committed to keeping that relationship up until such a time as they can move in with each other or live in the same cities and close that gap. If you don't know when you're going to be able to close the gap, if you don't know when you're going to be able to move to be closer to each other, if you don't know if you're ever going to agree on a location or a job or all the logistical factors that would let you live a life together, and you're a person who needs touch, you're a person who needs warmth, you're a person who needs energy, physical energy, the presence of a person, then they don't work out. So it just depends very much on closing that distance and how much passion you've built up and how much patience you've built up in closing that distance. And both people have to have the same amount of enthusiasm in maintaining the relationship and also growing it in the meantime. And most of the time, one person gets bored, one person loses hope because it starts to feel like a fantasy, and you start to feel more like pen pals than a relationship, than passionate lovers. You got to see each other a lot too, as often as possible, obviously. Moo Moo, love and respect. Thank you for the $10 super chat. She said, excellent content. Question: besides online or church, where's a good place to meet men serious about dating? Special interest groups. So if you're into book clubs that would involve men, about book genres that men read as well. If you're into running clubs. If you're into cooking clubs. If you're into dancing, big dance clubs. Dancing groups and parties, or what are they called? Dancing. Y'all know. Dance studios have big groups and they call it something, but they all go dance and they get dance partners and stuff like that. Whatever you love to do, you have to find a special interest group, or you can find a special interest group to do it or talk about it or study it. People who are enthusiastic about each other's passions often make a good match, right? Because similar things bring you to that passion or similar types of motivations. And so it's a really good idea to express your passions in special interest groups with each other. Learn about people who like the same things you do, and sometimes that means you have more in common than some outsider. So that's a good place to start, and that way you have something to share with your partner besides attraction. Kiwi, love and respect. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. And Juel's asks question two. So I got your super chat right here. I'll refer to it after Kiki. So Kiki asks, what does it mean when a guy says he's not ready for a relationship because he's been hurt in the past, and adding a title could cause drama and confusion? It means he will have sex with you as long as you allow him to have sex with you, but he'll never commit to you. A man does not say this to a woman with the intent on changing his mind. He says that to a woman with the intent on softening her up, so she drops her guard, drops her standard for a relationship or commitment, and gets herself involved in something that won't stop, won't have an end or beginning. It will be ambiguous, and she'll find herself stuck and still in love. Men say that to trap women, low key. In the same way that women don't tell a guy in a friend zone that he's stuck and he can never get out, men do that. Men say, well, I'm not really ready for a relationship because I've been hurt. And that causes a woman to say, oh, you've been hurt? I'll never hurt you. Let me show you. And it just turns into her doing everything in the world to try to make him think she's special or different or one of a kind or more trustworthy than the next girl. But they don't realize that most of the time, these guys who are screwing all these women and then tell a girl, I've been hurt. I can't have a relationship. I'm too damaged. Most of the women that they encounter are serious about them. Most of the women that they encounter aren't playing with them and probably are more trustworthy than whoever hurt them. They've met special women before. It's not about women being not special or special. It's about them just not having it in their heart right now to trust or be vulnerable again because they are hurt from it. Hold on. So that's what it means when a guy says he's been hurt. It means he's not going to give you anything but some pipe for the foreseeable future, and he probably won't choose you when he does decide he's ready for a relationship because you never tell that to a woman who you ultimately want to stand by. You never tell that to a woman who you want to who you can't stand to lose. You only tell that to women who you're okay if they walk away. I'm be honest. So he's okay if you walk away. That's what that means. Suzanne Madison, love and respect. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I don't see a question. I appreciate you. Jewel's left a $2 super chat. YouTube doesn't show me, but Ash always shows me. She said, "Do you box?" I did box. Not like in the ring. I didn't. Well, in the ring, but I didn't fight. Like I didn't. I never got to a place where I competed. But for a while, when I was much younger, when I was 18, I did box. That was the way I trained. I trained as a boxer. I just didn't fight. Like I just didn't get in the ring and start punching somebody. Most boxers lose their cognitive ability and get their CTE and all of their injuries in sparring. People think it's in fighting. They fight 12 rounds one time or two times a year, but they spar many hours a day, most days of the week. And the sparring is what kills a boxer's mind, not the actual fights, not the main event. So I've always known that. I've always watched boxers slow their words and not really be able to express themselves. So I never was attracted to that. But I'm a boxing enthusiast, and I have boxed before. I'm into MMA and stuff like that, but I've never competed. I'm not trying to get my brain scattered because I like being smart. But I can box. Like I can throw my hands, and so yeah. And I teach my son. I'm not going to have him boxing, but I train him as if he's boxing. And so we're boxing enthusiasts. Thank you for the question, Joel. I've done a fair amount of fighting in my life, so I don't think I need to do that. Kiana Parks, love and respect. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. She said, "Hi, I'm in a relationship. He suffers with depression. Sometimes he isn't in the mood to call on the phone, but mainly text. And I've communicated that phone calls are important. Do you have any advice?" When a person suffers from depression, you have to figure out what they're capable of and what they're just not willing to do, right? And sometimes people with mental illness, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, uh, it would seem that certain simple things would be very easy, right? Because we can do them and we're okay with doing them. But they draw these mental walls between, what you want and what they can do. And it's not even malicious, but you have to be very careful expecting anything of someone with depression. The problem is they can't even expect from themselves to feel one way or another each day. And so if he does suffer legitimately with depression, you have to decide whether or not you can bear the brunt of this relationship being the way he decides it is, or the way his illness decides it is day to day. It's a very hard thing. It's not a very convenient relationship. Love and respect to anybody who can do it. I put it up there with men who can raise other men's kids because it's a task that requires a lot of patience. It's never convenient to deal with a mental illness, and it always challenges you. And sometimes that challenge is worth it. Sometimes it's not, right? Because he has depression, but I'm sure he has outside of that normal issues, normal imperfections, normal idiosyncrasies that are just as inconvenient as the depression, if not more inconvenient. So you can communicate that if you like, and he can make a better, more concerted effort to be more of what you ask for on his less depressed days. Now, if he's not giving you effort on the days that he feels good, then you have yourself a problem. Because if he has the capacity on those days to be better and he's choosing not to be, I don't know what to tell you. Because we could say it's because he's got depression, because we want to make sure that we show love and respect to his illness, and deal with him accordingly. But when he's feeling good and he's still doing that, if he can find time to do other things that are very normal, and function very normally on his good days, then he can find time to call, and that becomes problematic for me because that's his unwillingness. That's not he can't, it's that he won't. So I guess it just depends on what he does on his good days, and that can be the baseline, because you can't expect anything one way or another on his bad days. Tierra Brown says, I've noticed my boyfriend has started I've noticed my boyfriend has been staring at women more in front of me. I heard this is what men do. Do I have to learn to deal with it? No. I think that your boyfriend is being particularly disrespectful. What you need to do is confront him about it and see what's going on. Let him know that you're not as oblivious as he thinks you are. I think that I'm not going to say that a man noticing a woman is out of the ordinary. Men see everything. Men see everything. I'm gonna be honest. I see everything. Uh, the difference between a guy who has respect for the woman and a guy who doesn't is not that he doesn't see other women. It's that he doesn't ogle them, doesn't stare at them. And if he's really smart, I do my best to look away, the completely opposite direction. If a scantily clad woman is walking on the right, and I'm with my wife, I'm pretending to be distracted by a bush or a tree or a dog or a bird or some shit on the other side. I'm not even looking that way. I don't need the confusion. So I think that that's just a respect thing. So the problem is not that he's seeing other women, it's that he has no respect, or he lacks respect. And that's the problem. That's what I have an issue with. And I think that you definitely have a conversation that you need to be having about that. So sorry about that, but you need to have a conversation about respect, because that's embarrassing and humiliating. If you can tell, then other people can tell that he's with you and ogling other women. And if you don't have basic respect in your relationship, then again, you might have to ask yourself some bigger, more deeper questions about where this thing is going. Erica Kane, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. She said, I'm talking to a guy who is overly texting and calling me. She's talking to a guy who is overly texting and calling her. He also keeps asking if I like and miss him. He's really clingy, and I've only known him for a week. Should I cut him off? He's really clingy, which means he probably doesn't have a lot of experience. Most of the time when guys are this transparent with what they're feeling, good or bad, it's because they don't have a lot of experience. It's because they haven't probably been rejected enough. they haven't had enough experience to learn not to do this, and also not to be this transparent. It also could mean he comes from the type of family that would cause everybody or a group of people in his family to have this culture of being very clingy and very needy. So I have a couple super chats on my phone. I'm gonna get to the $2 super chat, so just bear with me right quick. But I don't like when people ask me how I feel about them because they feel a certain way. And after a week, I think he's love bombing you. He's trying to create a false sense of closeness and awareness and familiarity. I think that that's dangerous. So keep it in perspective. Believe none of it. If you feel like cutting him off, cut him off. But if you like him, then just ignore that shit when he says it, and then have a conversation with him and tell him, listen, I don't need all of this emotional stuff. We just getting to know each other, and I like you, and I think that you're awesome. I think you have a lot to offer, and I think that we could be compatible. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out, but I can't do this when you're at this elevated emotional place every time I talk to you or every time you're communicating with me. I accept your emotions. I appreciate you sharing them, but I'm not sure it's the appropriate time. And just have that conversation with him. Be very frank with him, and loving but frank, and maybe he'll stop the bullshit. Or maybe it's not bullshit to him. He just doesn't understand the gravity of the words he uses, which again tells me he's either young or very, very inexperienced, late bloomer. A lot of late bloomers don't know how to do that. Communicate their emotions in a way that doesn't creep somebody out. So I hope that helps. But I think I just lost the super chat. I might have just lost the super chat that's next to the $4.99. It might have been a $5 super chat. The timer went off because I got too many in a row. Pretty girl, can you send me that super chat? I lost somebody's super chat. So I'm going to wrap up this. So anyway, yeah, that's the problem. He's inexperienced. You need to make sure that you talk to him about that, because it is inappropriate and it's a little bit too early. And it's really bullshit if anybody's saying that they like and care for you and all of those things this early. So Marissa, I'm not going to beat your last name up. I'm just going to answer your question. I appreciate your super chat. She says, am I wasting time thinking that he will change? Is it true when a woman leaves, men start to change? No, men don't start to change. Men start to regret. And regret will change you for a time, but when you get comfortable, you go back, you revert to your natural state of being. Uh, in boxing, a guy might train with a new trainer, and for his whole career, he's been one style of fighter, but he gets with a new trainer that's a completely different style of trainer, trains a completely different style of fighter, and when he finally gets into a fight, he feels like he's going to be this new fighter because he learned these new moves, and as soon as he gets hit, as soon as he gets hit, he reverts back to his old style of fighting immediately because it's your natural way, it's your natural instinct. We do a lot of things on instinct, and what shitty men are being shitty by instinct, so they can learn to treat you better, to keep you around, but it's not genuine. Most of the time, it's just to keep you around, and they've learned that they lose a resource if they don't try harder, but it's not permanent. My boyfriend works a lot. How can I inspire him to give more affection and effort in between work? He has to want it as bad as you want it. And if he doesn't want it as bad as you want it, then you can't convince him to do anything. What you need to do is let him know that you have unmet needs. You can list those needs. You can have a safe conversation where you talk about the things that are missing from your relationship, and you give him an opportunity to express what he believes is missing on his end from the relationship, right? Because you both have complaints, not just you. But once you ask him and once you get his feedback, you give him your feedback. And also try to do this when you're in an intimate position or you're in a cuddle, one of the positions that make you feel closest, so that there's already this openness and this connection in between you. You can straddle him, or you can sit on his lap, or however you feel closest to him. Whenever you're holding each other and you're cuddling, that's one of the best positions to have a difficult conversation, because you already feel connected. But you still have to have that conversation. If he's not giving you enough and you know that he's capable of it, then you have to talk specifically about what he can do. Don't just complain about him not doing it, but speak specifically about what he can do to do better. I hope that helps. Kiwi, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. She says, when a guy says he's fluid about us after dating for 4 months, what does that mean? It means he could take it either way. FYI, no sex is involved. He's fluid about you, meaning either or, whatever. He's kind of on the fence about you. He's not set. He's not grounded in any particular idea. So that's not necessarily a good sign. It means he goes. It could either mean he's going with your flow or he's going with the flow, meaning he's not really concerned with moving forward or backwards. He's just kind of there. He's floating. He's hovering in place, which isn't really a good place to be in. I got a couple super chats on my phone, so I'm gonna definitely get to these. Somebody NGR, your $5.99 super chat had fell off. She said, a guy I'm dating video called me drunk and confessed his love and talked about possible marriage, and since has not addressed it. What's up with that? Well, he was drunk. He felt like he was vulnerable. He probably feels a little bit embarrassed by his conduct and by what he said, and he probably doesn't remember how passionate he was when he said it, or what your response was. If you were mortified, if you were intrigued, if you were happy to hear it. He's probably just embarrassed and humiliated that's how it came out, and he probably doesn't. He could feel that way, but the one time the 2 times I've been drunk. Been drunk twice in my life. I don't drink, so these were pretty much the only 2 times I actually drank. 3 times. I think I drank 3 times. I'm a really loving drunk. I'm the type drunk to hug a stranger. I'm the type of drunk that as soon as I get drunk, I want to tell my wife all these different things that I'm emotionally repressed, too emotionally repressed to tell her when I'm sober, right? Because I'm not a perfect person. I have a little bit of emotional repression, or a lot of it. I have a traumatic childhood too. So sometimes I'm not very good at expressing my emotions and the depth of my passions. But when I'm drunk, all of that shit just comes out. And I always say great things, so I don't think that I'm ever embarrassed. I'm just happy that I got it out. But he might be embarrassed because he might not know if it's appropriate, and if you're in the same place he's in. So that's why he hasn't addressed it. If you want to bring up what he said, ask him specifically about it, and he'll probably tell you, or he'll probably at least invite the conversation. Tail Jones. And I got some more. Would you agree that a guy must block, delete, and never give or receive communication with an ex? Is this a red flag, or to demand that he do this? It depends on the context of that ex. It depends on if that ex has stepped on your toes, disrespected your relationship, undermined you in any way. You got to understand, people have been in each other's lives for a long time. It's very difficult to just pretend like they're dead to you, right? And just because you demand it doesn't mean he feels that way. And a man is going to cheat or not cheat, or be faithful or not be faithful, based on where he is emotionally with the person, not on whatever demand you bring up and whatever demand you decide that you're going to make on him. And so compliance isn't necessarily loyalty, right? Like there's a fine line between forcing someone to be what you considered faithful and really just trying to force them to repress their emotions for someone and them actually not having them. You want your current boyfriend to just be past his ex. You want him to have peace about the end of that relationship. What you don't want is to make him resent you by trying to control him. And also, it's appropriate that he stops talking to them. You're right. He should probably not give or receive communication. But as far as blocking, I'm not sure you should block an ex unless they've done something disrespectful to your new spouse. I mean, you can, but then it sets a statement and it causes attention. And you're trying to get him to make a statement about the way you feel about their relationship, not the way he feels. And I'm not sure deleting is right or wrong. I don't really care about whether or not a person deletes. I just don't want them talking and forming a relationship. So you still want the communication cut off. And if he's not willing to do that, and especially after you've expressed that you would hope that he stopped talking to that person, then it's not in his heart to do so. So he might not have moved on. That's the problem. That's your fear, is that he goes backwards, which your fear is that he's not moved on. And if his actions are showing you that he hasn't moved on, then that's your bigger problem, not the fact that he's talking to them on social media. Because even if he gets off of social media, he has their number. He can text them. He can go use a burner phone or a locker phone, or that's a type of phone that you hide in your locker at work, because Tiger Woods should have did that. I don't know how you get caught cheating with 18 women. You should have just had a burner phone. You're a billionaire. I don't get it. The point is this. You can't stop a person from doing that, and you cannot make a person be faithful who's not faithful. So if you have a trust issue with him, then you need to address what causes your trust issue, not necessarily the symptoms of your trust issues or the symptoms of why you shouldn't trust him, like the social media stuff. But you should still, like I said, let him know, you don't like it, but you can't control whether or not he wants to do that. Only that you want to do it, and he'll find another way if he wants to talk to his ex. I got two. Top Cat says, he said he didn't want a relationship, then left me for another one. 1 year later, still with her, gave her everything. How to recover? You got to stop thinking about him. I love and respect. You just gave me a super chat for a guy who you haven't been with for a year. That means that you're still focused on him. You're still thinking about him. You're still dedicating and donating time to him. You understand that focus is worship, right? Focus is worship, right? Meditation is worship. We have to figure it out. Like, we really have to come to grips with that. Like, if you, I don't know how religious you are or not religious you are, but if you took 15 minutes and you just thought about God, you'd be worshiping. Now, you've taken, I don't know how many hours and focused on this man throughout the last year. You've been worshiping. You've turned him into an idol if you're a religious person. But even if you're not a religious, he's not an idol. Even if you don't believe in God, he's become an idol for you. He's become the center of your worship. So if you're still thinking about this man that much after a year, you're talking about how to recover. You have to think about other things. You have to confuse your energy, if necessary. If since you can't heal naturally, you must confuse your energy with other masculine energy. Get around some new people, date a little bit, experience new things. You're standing in place where he left you, trying to feel different. You can't heal where you got sick, and if you're doing the same things, living the same lives, keeping the same schedule, you're not going to feel any better. Especially watching my videos, thinking about him, right? You're just worshiping him more. So I would like you to start refusing the thought, right? You've had that time, you've grieved, you've felt it. You've already felt your feelings. Now it's time to start thinking of other things, and you don't have any control of your mind. And so you need to start looking at mindfulness YouTube and not relationship YouTube. Go look at mindfulness. Go learn how to control your thought patterns. Go learn how to control your mind. Go control your energy, your vibrations. Learn how to focus and meditate on the right things, because you don't have any mind control, and that's your biggest problem. You don't have any control over your mind. Your mind decides your heart decides what your mind does, and that's the wrong way to do it. And I just lost a super chat. Pretty girl, can you give me that last super chat, the $4.99 that just dropped off? I was trying to get to it, and I still got a couple super chats on here. Let me see. I'm gonna get to the big ones. Let me see. I'm gonna get to the big ones. Malika gave me $1.99, $1 or 1.99 euros. I don't know how much that is, but love and respect to you. Thank you. She said he walked away because he's non-committal. Will he return? Nope. If he's non-committal, he still don't want what he didn't want. Like, a guy knows what he's walking away from. Women always think that guys are just so confused about who they feel what for, that they're going to come back. And they only come back when they know that you're still standing in place and that they can use you as a placeholder, or they can use you as a just in case or a backup. Um, Being a man's backup plan is not him choosing you. It's just being a man's backup plan. MW says, does it seem insecure to ask your man why he likes you? Would it be the first time? It would be the first time asking that in 4 months of being together. No, it's not insecure. I think it's feedback. I would much prefer you just ask him for feedback. What are the things that you like he likes about you? What are the things that he doesn't want to disappear in your relationship? What are the things that satisfy him in your relationship? That's a better question, not why he likes you. That seems a little bit insecure, but I understand where it's coming from. And most people can see past the idea of it being insecure. But what you need to do is ask him what he prefers, what he likes, what draws him to you, or what is satisfying him in a relationship. That way you understand what you need to continue to deliver to keep your relationship healthy in the ways that depend on you. And he should probably, if he cares at all, ask you for the same type of feedback. That way you can kind of do a relationship health check, and you can make sure you're delivering on those things that each other needs, right? Because it's just not about you, it's about him as well. I think I just lost another super chat. Y'all beat me down today. I'm with it though. Marcellus Reese, what's going on, Reese? Love and respect to the Carbon Ops podcast, man. Throwing some support and some greens on the plate to support. Put this on the new Cleveland Guardians fitted cap. All right, look, hey, I'm not a sports teams person. I'm a colors person. So I'm going to find one in black or gray or red, and I'm going to do that. I appreciate you, Reese, bro. Y'all got to get on the Fatherhood Village podcast, man. I'm going to be in touch with you about that. I know I done lost a super chat. I still got a couple here though, so I'm gonna dig into these. If your super chat was at the top and I just lost it, put it in the comment section. Pretty girl, can you send me that super chat? Crystal Brooks, love and respect for the Cash App. Cash App, $ Kev Hick, if it matters. No S. Please don't put an S on Kev Hick. It is not Kev Hicks. My last name is Hickman, Hickman. Hick is short for Hickman. Do never put an S on anything addressed to me, because you're going to get some guy who doesn't give refunds. He's gotten paid a couple of times off of people thinking my name is Hicks. There's no S. Anyway, Crystal Brooks, love and respect. Yes, you can email your question. So she didn't want her question public. She wanted to do her thing. So we're gonna respect that. He said they want a relationship. Okay, we got that one. Okay, NGR. We already answered that question. Hold on. MW, I got that one. Top Cat, and I got that one too. Hold on. Okay, I think I'm good on those super chats. I know I might have missed the last super chat. Let me go up here and see if I can find them. Let me see. I can't find them. I ain't gonna be able to find them. All right, so I'm gonna jump down to the bottom, and that way I'm okay. Male, $5 in Canadian love and respect. She says, can joking around too much put you in the friend zone? It depends on the person. Some men want to be entertained. It depends on the needs of the man. See, all these arbitrary rules, no matter where you get them, whether you get them from me, whether you get them from Kevin Samuels, whether you get them from I don't know who the hell, Tony Gaskins, whoever you get these things from. These things depend on the individual, right? And so we're trying to offer a wealth, or I'm trying to offer a wealth of perspective based on the type of individuals that you might deal with. Joking around too much can put you in the friend zone if you're dealing with a man who takes himself seriously and wants nurturing from his woman, wants support from his woman, wants encouragement, motivation, inspiration from his woman. If that's what he needs because he didn't receive it at home, that's what he needs because of his background, if that's what he needs because of his upbringing, and you give him jokes, well, you're not meeting his needs. So yes, it can put you in a friend zone. But if a guy has already had that, he's grown up in a healthy environment, and he's got all the nurturing and love and motivation and inspiration in his circle that he's already developed, maybe he needs somebody that's just comic relief, because all of that pressure and of potential put on him by everybody else to be great, because everybody already believes in him and everybody already tries to encourage him to be great. Sometimes he just needs a light moment, a lighter-hearted day, a light-hearted day. So it's really important that that's that missing super chat. Thank you, pretty girl. I got you, lovely Rose. I got your super chat, so I'm gonna answer it soon. But yes, it can put you in the friend zone. So it depends very much on the man and what his personal intrinsic needs are. We all have personal intrinsic needs. That's why all of these dating rules are specific to the individual. That's why context matters. That's why when people say I disagree with what you say, and then they say what I said, I'm like, and because I've experienced this in this completely different context that's not even related to my damn video. It's like, duh. Context matters. Context always matters, and so absolutely, it can put you in a friend zone with the wrong guy. But with some guys, they like somebody who can tell jokes because they live a very serious lives and they need very serious life and they need the comic relief. So it just depends on the man. Bait the hook for the fish. Get to know your target so you can catch your target. So you can hunt your prey. Like you have to figure out, you have to know about deer to hunt deer. I can't just go out and shoot at deer with my Glock 30. I mean, I could, but I probably miss a lot and I probably wouldn't catch any deer because I don't know how to be quiet enough. I don't know how to spread the deer pee all over the tree branches or whatever the hell hunters do. I don't know. You got to bait the hook for the fish. You got to know what you're doing when you're hunting things. BV, love and respect. Said been single for 5 years. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna get you, BV. I gotta answer Lovely Rose because she's been waiting for a minute. She said he's pushing the issue of having children early in the relationship because he's approaching 30. What's the rush? I think that he wants to be young enough to experience the children in a way that he feels useful enough to do stuff. A lot of us have fears about being the old father who can't run, who can't jump, who can't play basketball with our sons or daughters, who can't do active things, who can't still be mighty and still have our strength with us, right? A lot of us want to look like the hero. We want to, the youth is what we're holding on to. A man's youth is everything, right? Yeah, men develop money and that makes them more distinguished for women. But a man's youth is his currency, is his finance, right? A lot of times the might of a man and the might he feels it within himself is so much more valuable than his money that he wants to offer that might, that energy, that ability to just be present and to be physically alive for his child. And so sometimes when guys want to have a kid by 30, I used to say I want to have a kid by. I used to say when I'm 27, I used to say when I was younger, I used to say when I was 18, I said, but when I'm 25, somebody getting pregnant. That's what I used to say. By the time I'm 25, somebody getting pregnant. Damn it, if I ain't got no girlfriend at 20, somebody getting pregnant. Because I always thought, oh damn, I don't want to be an old dad. I knew old dads; they couldn't do a whole lot, and so that was too much for me to think about. I wanted to make sure that I still had a lot to offer my child, and so in the same way, some he might be struggling with that, uh, but I outside of that, it will be anybody's guess why 30 is the magic number for him. Okay, BV, sorry for the delay. Love and respect. She says, I've been single for about 5 years, going on my first date, meeting this guy in person for the first time tomorrow. Any tips? I really like him and I want to make a good impression. He talks to me daily. You've already made a good impression if he talks to you daily. The best thing that you can do is try to match the energy that you give him on the phone. Too often guys get on a date with a woman who's been loose, who's been calm, who's been confident. You get on a date, she don't talk, she's looking down at her food, she never makes eye contact, and she's stiff, right? Like she feels like she's in danger. And it really takes the air out of a man to feel rejected because a woman's defensive on a date. So the best thing I can tell you is if you got to take some magnesium, some calm, if you need some calm, it's just called calm. It's basically a magnesium supplement. It helps like chill you out, and some of y'all smoke weed, do what you do. I don't do that, but do what you do. Whatever will calm you down. I don't give a damn if you got to meditate, you got to count to 10 backwards. Calm yourself down before you go on a date so that you can give him the energy that he's accustomed to, because that's an actual representation of a version of you that he will get. uh, don't feel foreign. Feel comfortable in your own skin. uh, Along those lines, after that, make sure that you know exactly what you want from the date. Meaning, if you're okay with having sex on the first date, and that's none of my business, I'm not a big fan of it, but if you're okay with that, cool. What are your boundaries if that's not the boundary? Figure out what your boundaries are before you go on a date. You don't want to be trying to figure that shit out in real time because a guy will test those boundaries. A lot of guys will, and it's not malicious. It's just how people move forward in dates. And so you want to make sure that you know who you are and what you're willing to do, what you're willing to try, how far you're willing to take anything, and you want to make sure that your boundaries are intact before you get to a date and you get all hot and bothered, or you get all nervous, or you get all anxiety ridden while you're on the date. Okay. Know what you're willing to do, know how far you're willing to go, and just match the energy that you give them before. If y'all talk daily, it means you have an intellectual connection, you have intellectual intimacy. That's good. Continue to have those same type of conversations, practice those same subject matters. do what you can to make sure that you present the same energy, whatever that energy might be, on a date, because that's what's drawing him into you. That's why he sees to it that he calls you daily. Christine Williams, love and respect. She says, he stopped telling me he loves me, kissing me, gets very angry when I try to talk to him, and hangs up the phone on me. Should I be worried? Hell yeah. He probably has I'm not going to tell you he probably has a girlfriend, but I watch a lot of cheaters. And when people start getting hostile toward their partners, it's because they don't want to leave their partners, because they don't want to be the bad guy, but they've already left mentally and emotionally. So yes, you should be very worried when a guy's hanging up on you. He's not respecting you. He's not giving you affection. He's always angry, and he hangs up on you. He's treating you like you're a girl trying to talk to him while he has another woman. Like, that's how he's treating you. And so if I'm guessing, if we're just throwing guesses out here, wild guesses, my wild guesses, he's either found a distraction or he's just tired of your relationship. And I don't know who or what is happening in your relationship. I don't know if you're the bad guy, if he's the bad guy, if nobody is a bad guy. I don't know if you're just growing apart, but he's definitely treating you like a stranger. And I don't know if he has a good reason or not, right? I don't know how you are. I don't know what you've done. I don't know what you contribute to your relationship, but I do know he's treating you like an enemy soldier. And guys only really do that when they have another woman to prove their loyalty to. Otherwise, he would just be indifferent to you. He wouldn't care. He probably wouldn't answer the phone, but he wouldn't be cussing you out and yelling at you and treating you like, how dare you, like an intruder just because you were trying to talk to him. So that's problematic. Pamela Gonzalez, I'm sorry. Love and respect for the, it looks like a wheelchair bird, but I think he's just running real fast. Sonic Bird. I'm going to call him Sonic Bird. Love and respect. Thank you for Sonic Bird. I appreciate you. All Hell Jay. All Hell Jay for this $20 super chat. She said, I'm talking to someone out of state. I already have plans on moving there next year. I told him this prior to us talking, giving him the option if he wanted to continue. It's been good for a few weeks, but now he's hot and cold. If you're moving there next year and he's hot and cold now, I would mentally detach myself from that. At least prepare yourself, hope for the best, but expect the worst. Because if a man's already hot and cold after a few weeks and you're supposed to be making it a year, it's 52 weeks in a year, and you're only, even if you don't have a whole year, even if you just have 6 months before you can move. I mean, y'all don't have y'all a few months, a few weeks in. That means he's lost his enthusiasm for the situation already. You can't work with that. Like, there's nothing that you can do with a man who's not excited enough that he can focus for more than a few weeks at a time. It's best that you just be friends, take all of the pressure off of it being in a relationship. Just be friends, be contacts, and then when you get there, if he's a good man, if he's loyal, if he has the relationship skills, then you explore it. But you're just going to ruin it and cause trauma by trying to start it too early before you get there. If he's available when you get wherever you're going, then figure it out and see if he has something to offer. But hot and cold right now, he feels obligated to talk to you if he's hot and cold. That's why he doesn't talk to you sometimes and he talks to you other times. And I would imagine his hot and cold is a little bit more attractive sexual attention building than intellectual conversation. That's what hot and cold be. He needs something passionate to bring him to talk to you probably. So he's just losing enthusiasm, and that's what happens. So keep his contact information, check on him every now and then, but resume dating when you can move there and get closer, because he does not have the propensity to stay around long enough to give you what you need all year. Hey, love and respect. She sent me a Cash App. I appreciate that Cash App. Let me see. I want to make sure I didn't miss nobody's super chat. See, Alexandria, love and respect. She said, hope your family and you are doing well. Congrats on the house. Thank you for the live. I appreciate that. Yeah, our family is doing well. And they've built now for our house, they've built the whole bottom part. They've built the basement. The basement is completely done, but they haven't started framing yet. And they're supposed to be done in November. We're already like a month and a half behind schedule because of all the new houses being built all around the country and supplies being short. So we might get our house in maybe hopefully by Christmas, if not like January. Hell, I won't have grass until I think like June or July. Like, everything's backed up and they can't drop grass in the winter in Ohio. So we have to wait till spring. So we're backed up a little bit, but I'm fine with that. I'm not in a rush. I just want it done right. Leanna, thank you so much for the 4.99 super chat. She said, "What does it mean when a guy doesn't want you, but lurks on your social media pages?" Read my other super chat too. Your other super chat. I'm gonna have to find your other super chat. My bad. I'm gonna find it. Pretty girl, look for it. Hopefully. Okay, so your other super chat to be determined. But she said, "What does it mean when a guy doesn't want you, but lurks on your social media pages?" Usually, when a guy's lurking on your social media pages, but he's expressed that he doesn't want you, it means that he's actually not available to the relationship. A lot of times guys be involved with another woman. Guys be involved and have whole relationships out here, and they poke at women just enough to see if they still got it, to feed their egos, or even try to set up possible cheating arrangements. And so they keep contact with other women, or they play with other women, but they really don't have any intention on doing anything outside of an accidental hookup. People accidentally on purpose hook up all the time, right? You poke at somebody, you entertain them, you trade pleasantries, you do all of these things that build tension and draw in energy. But you say, "Oh well, we were just cool, we were just friends. There was no, we didn't intend to do anything." And ultimately, you end up hooking up, and you say, "Oh, it just happened." What didn't happen? You've been working on it for months. You've been stalking each other's pages. You've been liking each other's pictures. You've been doing a lot of these things. So I'm not sure, like how much that gentleman has been doing, but I can tell you that. Hold on, what? I don't know, forgot the damn. Hold on. I can tell you that it doesn't mean anything when a guy stalks your social media outside of him potentially rubbing them off to your pictures. It doesn't mean shit. If he just tell you he don't want nothing, he don't want nothing. Um, Queen Heart, male boyfriend now have an insecure girlfriend. Male boyfriend now have insecure boyfriend. Create distance without jeopardizing the friendship. Sincerely, his friend, but don't want to cause problems. Oh, male best friend, not male boyfriend. It's like, what male boyfriend? Uh, Male best friend now has an insecure girlfriend. How to create distance without jeopardizing friendship. If you have contact with him, just let him know, "Hey, listen, I love you. I'm here for you, but I'm gonna step back because I don't want to cause issues and I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable. I want to respect her space. Again, I'm here for you, but I can't be all in your business. We can't be BFFs right at the moment because I can't function like that. And I don't want to make sure I don't want to contribute to her insecurity and your issues in your relationship. I want you to have a real chance of being happy. And sometimes that just means I need to step back. But we are always this close. I always love you. And I'm always here for you. And yeah, I just wish you luck. And no beef. There's only love. You just express that to him. Have that conversation with him. Um, that's all you got to do. If he's really your best friend, he'll understand and he'll probably appreciate the fact that he doesn't have to tell you, "Hey, I need you to back up." Right? Because that's a hard conversation. I've had that conversation before with a female best friend. "Listen, I need you to back the fuck up. Okay, you tripping right now. You causing some issues with me, and I need you to just be my friend and kind of back up a little bit." And I've had that from teenage years on. Like, that shit happens from very early on in our dating lives. So that's just something that you have to do. Uh, and I know some people think that you should be able to keep all your friends and shit like that, but that's just not how people work. That's not the nature of man. As much as it might be some psychologically evolved shit that people might tell you, it's just not. It's shit that people are mostly doing. It's like everybody should meditate, but everybody don't know how to meditate. uh, so it's the same thing. See, Alexandria. She already gave me that. All right, love you. All right, so, Maria Owens. Thanks, Kev. Thank you. I appreciate you. Wendy GH talked 10 hours ago in school. Now 6 hours apart. Talk all the time. He wants to see others for summer and maybe serious for fall relationship. Is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know what you guys offer each other. I don't know how you talk. I don't know how connected you were. I don't know the level of intimacy he's giving you. I don't know what his intentions are. I don't know, why he needs to see other people for the summer. Like, all of those things are very relevant. So it could potentially be worth it if he's offered you a great deal of solace, peace, support, safety, security. If he has a propensity to be that, then yes, it might be worth it. But it could potentially be just some hold on right here while I screw some more girl stuff, and that could be bullshit. So I guess it would depend. But if a person's at least being honest with you and creating a clean break or a separation, and they're not lying to you and having their cake and eating it too, I'm all right with that. So I guess that's up to you. If he's a good guy, potentially, but I'm not sure. I don't like people having to go away and explore and then come back to me. I feel like sloppy seconds at that point. But that's just me. But men are more territorial. Men are just different. So I don't want to lose to no man for the summertime. Let them get what they gonna get from you and then come back. Like, you can't do that with me. But that's man shit. That ain't no woman stuff. So I get it. Cherie Ramos, love and respect. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. No question. Wendy GH, Wendy. I don't know what that. Hey, love and respect to you. I hope that's not like the whole last name. I mean, it could be. Anyway, he has maybe romance will take time to build since before we were kids. Asks me a lot of questions, assessing questions. Says I have what he likes indirectly. Well, he needs to start being more direct. Too many hints being given by a lot of these guys. Guys don't take hints, and I don't assume women take hints any better than guys, even though they overthink more. So no, if he wants something, he needs to be direct, or you need to just cut the bullshit and say, hey, so what are you saying? What does that mean? Be more direct in your inquisitions, and maybe you can get some real information from it. But while a guy's being ambiguous and indirect, you can't really work with that. So challenge him to be more direct by asking him what he means when he says something that is too gray for you. Maria Velasquez, she says, "Hi, Kev. How do I stop caring for someone? How to stop caring for someone who hurt you?" Like I said before, you have to first stop worshiping them, and you can't stop caring about people. Listen, I care about people from 2006, 2005. I care about lost friends in high school. If I love a person at one point, I never stop loving that person. Whether it's a friend or a girl, or like, you never stop loving the person or never stop caring about them. If you're talking about how to stop mourning them, you have to turn away from them. It gets easier, but you have to give yourself space. And if you're thinking about them all day and dedicating a good deal of mental space and energetic space to them, energetic, commitment to them, you're not going to get over them. You can't heal in the same place you got sick. And if you're standing in place emotionally, waiting for them to come back, you can't heal that way. You can't get over them. You can't stop caring about them. And now again, I care about everybody. If I cared about you once, I'm always going to care about you. I care about my old friends. I care about my exes. I want everybody who has ever encountered me and ever been an important piece of my life to do well. Down to my high school girlfriend, I want her to do well. I want her to conquer. I want her to be all she can be. I want her to be happy. I want my other ex to be happy. I want my old friends, even some that betrayed me. I want everybody to be happy. If I loved you once, I always love you. I just don't fuck with you. Right. So there's a difference. I don't mess with you. If we cross me, if you hurt me, I don't mess with you, but that don't mean I don't love you. So I don't stop caring about people. And I don't think it's a good practice to try to stop caring about people. Worshiping them, mourning them, that needs to stop. So you just giving too much time and too much energy to the idea of that, and you need to find new friends, find new circles, find a new tribe, find a new hobby, find a new schedule, switch things up, build a different life, a life that looks different than when you had them in your life, so that it doesn't feel like a part's missing from your day, because at 6 o'clock every day you used to cuddle after you got off of work, and now you still have the same schedule, you still have the same everything, but they're just missing from the cuddling. So I hope that helps, but you got to stop the worship and give yourself 5 minutes a day to think about this shit, and then refuse to think about it. And again, like I told the other young lady, you need to look up meditation. You need to look up mindfulness. Start digging into that version of YouTube instead of dating and relationship YouTube. I want you to watch my videos, but it's not going to help you if you're stuck on somebody who's never coming back and you're watching my videos to try to figure out how you can be great for when they come back. You just need to go be great. And to do that, you need control of your mind. And right now you don't have control of your mind. They do. Nurse Natalie 2.0. Hello. She says, why does my narcissist ex keep stalking my page from different accounts? Also, have others lurking my page. Had he discarded me? He had discarded me. It's been 4 months. Well, that doesn't mean he doesn't miss having sex with you. I'm gonna be honest. If your ex is stalking your page, he's probably rubbing them out to the thought of being with you again. Especially on the nights that nobody else picks up the phone, or he's lonely, or the girls he's dealing with aren't on, or whatever. if he's stalking your page, he feels feelings as well. And just because he's a narcissist doesn't mean he doesn't feel feelings. It just means he probably doesn't process them well, and they obviously don't manifest in healthy ways for his partners. So he's just feeling his feelings, and a lot of times guys lurk on your page because they have feelings and things in their minds and in their hearts that they're unexpressed, unexplored. That guys don't have this acceptance from society to be open emotionally and vulnerable emotionally. So what the guys do is get alone, look at all the pictures of somebody who was important, who they know they either don't have enough, can't afford emotionally, or they don't have what it takes to be with, or they messed up with, or something like that. They'll still stare at just like y'all look at these guys' pages and you think about these guys all day. A guy, just because he's an asshole or a narcissist, doesn't lack the emotion and the feeling and the depth. He just lacks the ability to express it in an appropriate way. That's the only difference. So he still feels feelings, and that's why he's looking on your page. But that doesn't mean you should go back. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck. We study your feelings, study your page for the next 20 years. I don't care if he's the last person on Instagram looking at the last profile with dust on it, yours. Don't go back. If he's a narcissist, if he treats you like shit, don't go back. Hold on. All right. Okay, my bad. Sophie Saunders. Hold on. Thank you, Candace, for the $5 super chat. Love and respect. Sophie Saunders says, and no super chat, just free. That's fine. I just want to make sure I get this question. Been with my partner for 9 years. He has sexually assaulted me recently. Said sorry. Can he change? Should I leave? Oh, that's a violation. If you don't feel, listen, this is me. I know we talk about forgiveness and letting bygones be bygones and all that. If a man sexually assaults you, and it was just genuine sexual assault, if it was a genuine sexual assault, and you determine what's genuine, I don't. I'm just some guy on YouTube. You determine if you believe he genuinely sexually assaulted you, not the rape culture definition of sexual assault, which is anything that can be deemed inappropriate if shown up on a picture. If he genuinely violated you, and you know this, I don't know this, I'm no one. If he genuinely violated you, you can never feel safe with him again, because you never know when he'll genuinely violate you in that way or other ways. And so it's very serious. Sexual assault, rape, these things are very serious and heavy allegations. And so if he's done this to you and you feel like he's violated you, and you don't feel safe, like you can't feel safe after he's done this. So whatever, if you use those words, if anybody does something that causes you to legitimately use those words and be serious, right? Not have been told, that sexual assault. Oh, really? I just thought that was, it was all good. Like I've heard people say they were sexually assaulted after being told, that's assault. Like, oh, well, I thought we had a really good time. He wasn't supposed to do that. Like, I've heard that, right? And then you hear other women. I know women who've been violently beaten and dragged and kidnapped and really held, like really violated. So there's such a wide margin of what people think is sexual assault. And I've watched women be indoctrinated with ideas that sometimes their mate was doing something that was, while inappropriate, was malicious. And so if you find that he's done something that has made you uncomfortable, that nobody else's definition matters but yours, right? And so I don't want you to take the society's definition, because this is your partner for 9 years. If he's violated you, I will leave. This is not one of those, don't, girl, you gotta stick it out with that man. You better not stick it out with nobody. If you can use the word sexual assault with a straight face, you got to go. Don't let anybody define it for you. Don't let anybody convince you he did or didn't. This is how you feel. If this is a thing that happened because you didn't give us any details, if this is a thing that happened, you got to go. I don't believe in staying with nobody that makes you feel unsafe, and I don't believe a man is in his purpose as a man if the safety of his woman is in question. If a woman ever looks at me and thinks that she's unsafe to be around me, I've failed. I felt miserably, right? So I don't define that for you. Nobody in social media defines it for you. Nobody in society defines it for you. Nobody in the Me Too movement defines it for you. If you believe you've been sexually assaulted, that's all you need. Like, that's it. And for you, if he's made you feel unsafe, you got to go. Right? If you're not secure, if he's not your safety, you have to leave. Right? And so don't let anybody define that for you. right? Because I have my own opinion about what sexual assault is, right? Everybody watching, the 428 people watching right now, they all have their own opinions, right? Some of us agree, some of us disagree. I have a male opinion, so I don't get to decide, definitely. But some of these women on here don't get to decide. The people who have actually been sexually assaulted, I definitely value their opinions, but they are not you. So it doesn't matter what anybody's been through. It only matters what you've been through. And if you believe that he sexually assaulted you, if he did it so to such a degree that you could use those words with a straight face, you could type those words, you got to go. I don't think that just because you've been with somebody for 9 years, you need to stay with them for another 9 years, or that you can't, or you got to need to stay with them for another 9 minutes. Just because you've been with somebody doesn't mean you need to be with somebody. Okay, so don't stay in a bad situation just because you've been in a bad situation. That if you have a shitty job and they treat you like shit every day, day in, day out, you should always be looking for another job, or you should be looking to leave and get your independence. In life, anytime you treat it like shit, anytime you've been doing something for a long time, just because you've done something wrong, or just because you've done something that was doing you wrong for a long time, doesn't mean you need to continue. So for me, if you don't feel safe, if he violated your safety, if he violated your sense of trust, you got to go, period. But I don't know what happened, so I can't give you any more details than that. But I don't get to decide that. So you shouldn't even ask me as a YouTuber. You shouldn't ask anybody watching. You should just do what right feels right for you, because that's all that matters. Sorry that was long, but I know a lot of people want to throw their opinion at it and tell you either to leave or to stay. And I'm telling you, my opinion is go, because you probably don't feel safe if you feel like you were really violated, if it was that type of thing. But I don't know. And so I would go. I'm sure a lot of people would tell you to go, but if somebody did tell you to stay because it wasn't that bad or anything like that, and I've heard that too. Mothers tell daughters that all the time, especially when there's some money connected to the guy. Don't listen to nobody's definition but yours, and you got to do what makes you feel comfortable. But I will hope you leave if he legitimately sexually assaulted you. Or if he made you feel that way, or if he, for whatever reason, is abusive in other ways, and that was just an escalation of what he's done previously. Miss MC, hi, I'm 43, no kids. Is it a bad idea to have a baby with my narcissist ex? He said yes, but I fear it is a bad choice to make myself a single mother. Uh, ooh, yeah, I don't know. I need to know more about. I need to know about more about why you believe he's uh, I need to know more about why you believe he's a narcissist, how that manifested, um, if he's a responsible man, if he's a dependable man. Like, I don't believe it's a good idea to have a baby as a single mother on purpose, but who am I? Again, I'm some guy on YouTube. Women get artificially inseminated all the time and have babies by themselves because their biological clock is ticking, and that type of stuff. So I can't tell you what to do with this time, because you are on borrowed time at 43. Um, it's not my decision, but I can tell you that doesn't sound right. And it doesn't sound like a good idea just reading the question. If that's the way you describe him, you didn't describe him as a good man, a dependable man, a wise man. You just described him as a narcissist ex. Now, of course, narcissism is a spectrum. So he could have just be a little bit of an asshole, or it could be completely undependable. So I don't know where he falls on the gradation of scale. So that's a thing that I might need more details on. Please write me on Instagram and give me more details about your narcissist ex, and maybe we can get to a very specific answer for you. And since you super chatted me, just put a $ emoji and then write your stuff, and I'll see it on Instagram and we'll talk about it. Ty Hobbs said, "Hey Kev, you missed my super chat. You missed a super chat from me earlier. I'm sorry, Ty. Here you go." So she said, Ty Hobbs said, Shani T said, thanks for the live. Blessings to you and your family. I appreciate you, Shani. Thank you. Ty Hobbs said, I haven't been in any serious relationships. I'm 30 years old. I'm 30 years old. A lot of men don't want to take time to establish the bond first. Any advice? You need to start making male friends. Male friends ultimately usually start to care about the people they're genuinely friends with. And if you're a woman that they find attractive, they find themselves feeling differently about you sometimes. And so it's easier to establish real meaningful relationships with men who have the propensity to be great husbands or boyfriends or lovers by establishing genuine friendships without the pressure of dating first. A lot of people date their friends, their coworkers, and their schoolmates because you get familiar with them quick and you get comfortable with them quick. And once people are comfortable, they have ability to judge and measure how compatible they really are with each other, and if there's really chemistry and not just attraction. And so I would employ you to do that. Just start making friends with people again, join special interest groups, speak more to people casually, just be a lot more friendlier with a lot of guys, and figure out who actually wants to stick around and be a friend and join your life as a friend without the pressure of dating. Ariel, love and respect. Had to break up with my boyfriend tonight. Do you have any advice for getting through breakups? It's also hard because my best friend is moving. I have a couple of videos that I've released this year about getting over a breakup. So I would implore you to watch a few of those. If you Instagram me and put the word breakups, just breakups, 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 I'll send you the videos that I've done about breakups this year if you've missed them. And that would be an easier way for me to give you the advice than to try to break down what I've said in those breakup videos here. But yes, I have a lot of advice for people going through breakups. And if you want to Instagram me, I will send you the links directly. If you can't Instagram me, Google one of my Google accounts. They're easy enough to find, and just put the words breakup in the comment. Put the words breakup in the comment section, and I'll send you the links to those videos and have a discussion with you about that like that. Lady B, love and respect. She says, been dating for a month. Last time we spoke, he said he felt intimidated by me. What did he really mean by that? Advice: how should I move forward? Give him space or move on? Intimidated by you. I would like to know, in what ways is he intimidated by you? Did you not ask him a question as to what he meant by that? In what way, in what context is he intimidated by me? Are you? A lot of times you have to ask for context. You have to stop being afraid. And I don't assume you're afraid, but a lot of times women are afraid to ask questions because it's already tense. It's already unsettling to be in this position where a guy's saying something that you didn't expect to hear. But you always have to ask for feedback. You always have to get more specific about these questions. Children learn so much between the ages of 1 and 5 because they're so curious and inquisitive about everything, right? Their brains double in size from like 1 to 5. Like, it's crazy, but it's because they grow and they develop through curiosity. As adults, we get a little bit more afraid of the response we get from curiosity. That's why people stop raising their hands in school. They stop asking questions at work. They do shit that they don't even know how to do, or they pretend to know how to do shit. They pretend to know about stuff in conversation because they don't want to be the one person that doesn't know. We actually train ourselves against curiosity and against sharing our curiosity and letting it manifest into great conversations and informative conversations through questions and inquisition. So what I need you to do is be more specific about what you ask him. And if he tells you he's intimidated by you, you need to ask for an explanation. Can you give me more? Can you elaborate? Can you expound upon that? In what way? In what context? How am I intimidated by? Is it something I'm doing on purpose, or is it something that you think I'm doing? Is it my nature? Is it like, what is it? You can't work with ghost information, and that's kind of what that is. It's negative enough that you don't know what it is, but it's bad. And might not be bad. It might just be. I'm gonna be honest. Intimidation is a healthy fear. In general, the only women who have ever intimidated by me were people who gave me a healthy fear of their minds. Right. When I met my wife, she was as spiritual and as smart in weird ways, and a little bit more capable in mechanical ways than I was. So it was delightfully intimidating to be around her because I know I have to be on my shit. I can't just say any kind of thing. She's not going to be impressed by just anything, right? She needs me to. I need to be on task. I need to be sharp when I talk to her. That's a healthy fear. He could have been expressing to you that he has a healthy fear of you, which is a good thing. But it could have also just been pure intimidation, which is bad. So advice on how you move forward, just ask more questions. If you don't like him, if you don't like him, I guess you can give him space. But if you like him, just talk to him and figure it out. It sounds like you're not speaking to him enough because you said the last time you spoke, which sounds like you're not speaking to him enough. That could be problematic. So I hope that helps. Being Young and Christian, love and respect. Go see her Christian YouTube channel. She don't cuss. I cuss. Hey, what do you think are the most important things to consider when contemplating getting back together with an ex? Change behavior, evolution of their nature. Is it genuine change or is it corrective change because they want you back? Is it regret and not change in fact? Have they done the changes for themselves or have they done the changes for you? Have they changed in your presence and out of your presence or just in your presence? What do they have to show for their changes? These are very good questions that you can ask yourself about what your ex is doing or or if you should consider going back to them. Too often they go, people feel regret and they go back to the same relationships because it's familiar, and because they miss each other, but neither of them have gotten to the root of what caused them to separate in the first place. So real change is what you're looking for, and the only way to confirm that is to observe someone for long enough without you. Solange Perez: been together with my boyfriend for 10 years and still not living together, and it feels like the relationship is stagnant. What should I do? Ugh. I don't know if you've been together with the brother 10 years and you're not with him. I don't know if you ever, I don't know what y'all got going on, but that sounds like a lot of time. Excuse me. That wasn't as gross as it sounded. 10 years is a lot of time to not really be living with somebody or growing with somebody. If you've been together 10 years and it's stagnant, you got to find a way to either push it forward or put it down. That's how I feel. But I can't tell you because I don't know the context of your relationship. I would need additional information. So if you want to go to Instagram and let me know about more about the context of your relationship, I can probably give you some more help that actually is relevant to your situation. Natural Beauty says, I'm a virgin, never seriously dated. I'm in my late 20s. I'm usually upfront about that with men. Is that a negative thing? I'm starting to think so. It's a negative thing to whores. Men who are whores don't like virgins because taking a woman's virginity is not the most pleasurable experience, and an inexperienced woman who potentially, who some assume might lack sexuality or enthusiasm, can be problematic. But again, to whores, men who see women for everything else that they are outside of orifices to stick it in are generally okay with a woman being a virgin, and most people. There was a time where most men didn't want other men to know their women in bed. Know what her boobs look like, know what her bare bottom looks like, know what her body. Like most men don't want their woman to be known by other men. Most like normal men, for men to want you to come used and unwrapped. It's just I think that it tells me that his focus is more sexual than spiritual, and I think that a relationship is a spiritual union as much as it is a physical union. And while most women have had sex before they get into an adult relationship, and they've just experienced things, which is okay. A man who prefers that over a man who doesn't can sometimes be a little bit more hypersexual focused, and I'm not positive that that's the type of guy that you want to be with anyway, considering your experience and what you value, and if your morals and values have led you to abstinence or virginity and abstaining, then the guy who wants you to be more sexual was never the type of man that you needed. That was not your match. So you are like, what's for you will be yours, and everybody's not your audience. Just like everybody don't watch my shit. A lot of people watch other people's stuff. A lot of much more famous dating YouTubers than me. But my audience, I'm for my audience. I'm not trying to get everybody. I'm just talking to the people who watch my stuff because my shit's not for everybody. And you, as a virgin, as someone who's stuck to your morals and your values, as you see the fit, you're not for everybody, and you don't fit with everybody, and so just any man can't come up to you. So you're trying to express this to men who aren't built for you anyway. So it feels like, oh man, men are rejecting me, but these men aren't meant for you. There's a man that's meant for you that's okay with that, but that's not them. So don't waste time worrying about whether or not a guy is going to be upset that you're a virgin. Just put that guy down and move on. You have to date efficiently, because if you spend too much time trying to convince men that your virginity is not going to be a problem and this and that, you're going to exhaust yourself before you ever find what you're looking for. And so you're still young enough. I know I talked to multiple 40-year-old virgins and up. Sometimes the only thing I will say about virginity is sometimes it can become your identity. I don't want you to make it your identity, because that becomes problematic, and you start to lead with that. I remember on Married at First Sight, the one girl a couple seasons ago, she was married to the guy, was with him for 4 months, and then an additional 3 months because of like COVID or something, and they never had sex. They never did anything. And maybe I'm mixing seasons again, but I know she was with him at least 3 months, and she never could even speak about like private parts because she was so immature sexually, and that can be problematic. But if you have if you are in control of your sexual energy, you just haven't explored it completely, that's not as problematic, and that's not as difficult. But you need the type of guy that is not necessarily focused on your sexual experience, but focused on growing with you spiritually, and also experiencing your sexuality once it's appropriate. And that's a special person because you're a special person. Crystal P. The first 6 months of my relationship, my boyfriend lost his job and I got pregnant. He asked for an abortion. I did it and I regret it. Now he's working and gets angry when I ask him to pay for stuff. What to do? Leave him. I mean, that's what I would listen. I think a man's job is to provide and protect, right? And support. If my woman is pregnant, or she needs stuff, if she's spent, like, everybody's going to have spending issues. Like, sometimes I don't want my wife to buy something, like she wants a new refrigerator right now. I don't think it's time for a new refrigerator. We're building a house. We disagree, but I'm not trying to control everything that we spend. Like, there's this fine balance of cooperation that you need, and you're not always going to agree with whatever he wants you to pay for, whatever you want him to pay for. So I'm not really speaking to that. But the fact that you said he asked you for an abortion, you did it, and you regret it, he put that on your hands. You have to live with that. I don't know if it's a man's job. I know a man should have a say in the baby, but I don't think a man gets to decide what his woman does with her body, because she's the one that has to live with that abortion. He doesn't. That's a big burden to bear. And I don't respect that. And now if he gets angry anytime you ask him to pay for stuff, I'm not sure. In coupling with the fact that he asked you for an abortion, he's not one who's looking to share what he is or what he has or what he's acquired with a woman or with a baby. So I think that it's a problem, and I think that you might consider moving on. And I got some questions from Ash Hick, so I'm definitely gonna get to these. I'm trying to knock these couple at the top out. Ren W. While dating, when do you think a woman should ask a man what his intentions are and tell him if she's looking for marriage without seeming desperate? Don't lead with "I'm looking for marriage," because that just feels like I just met you, and now you're telling me that if I go on enough dates with you, I'm saying that I'm gonna marry you. Don't say that. Just say you're looking for a real relationship, and ultimately one day when you find the right person, marriage is definitely something that you'd be interested in. But don't tell a man you're looking for marriage, because I'm gonna get up. Even I'm a dating coach, a relationship coach. If I'm single and I'm on a date and the girl tells me she's looking for marriage, I'm like, well, damn, this is our first date. So we had this Applebee's, or maybe I take it to a nicer restaurant, Applebee's, Cheesecake Factory. We at the Cheesecake Factory, and damn it, you talking about marriage? Who are you? What's your name again? What's your last name? Listen, Miss, what's your? I ain't got no marriage for you because I just met you. I don't know you, and now I got to figure out what I want, because every date feels like I'm a step closer to marriage, and so that's a lot. Just tell a young gentleman or an old gentleman, however old you're dating, that you're interested in real relationships. You're interested in growing. You're interested in evolving. You're interested in a spiritual connection. And hopefully one day you meet somebody who could facilitate marriage, and that would be lovely. But you're just trying to find your person right now and find somebody that you can have real love with. And if that's a problem for him, then I don't know what else to tell you. But just don't leave with marriage. Marriage is a very constraining idea when it's not applied, when no additional context is applied, because everybody doesn't have the same idea of what it takes to get to a marriage. So I hope that helps. Thank you, Brenda, for the loving lemon. I think that's a lemon in love. I love it. I appreciate you. Let me get into some of these super chats from the pretty girl. She said, hold on. Hold on. Solange Paris says she means 8 years. They've been together 8 years. Yeah, that's a long time. Way too long to be not getting what you need out of a relationship. Rashida Etheridge says, I was dating a man for 3 months. Everything was perfect. We were going to move in together. I went through his phone and found out he was texting other women. I dumped him. Was I overreacting? No. Yeah. No, he wasn't overreacting. But 3 months is kind of at the point where a guy either starts taking you seriously. I know 3 months is usually that point for me. And I remember not this relationship, but the relationship before this. I still texted girls and about almost 2 months in. I didn't do anything, but I entertained other chicks for about 2 months because I had been hurt, but I was damaged. And this is 18-year-old or 17-year-old Kevin. I don't know, 17, 18. But I was a little bit damaged. And I hadn't gotten over my shit, and I got my heart broken very bad. I was with somebody for about a year and a half, and they left me for a girl, and so that was humiliating, traumatizing, frustrating. It was all of these different things, infuriating, and so working through that, if I'd known this girl who did this to me for many years, the next girl that I met was going to probably be looked at with a magnifying glass and not be trusted. Right. That's just kind of the nature of how men process things. I finally got back out there, but I wasn't like completely trusting. I was ready to be loved. I was ready to love, but I didn't want to be played again because that was so humiliating. And so I texted chicks for the first couple of months, but I didn't do it. I was making sure I protected myself by not being fully engaged. But after you start to love somebody, at about 2 months, I'm like, man, I love this girl. Fuck these other chicks. And I just stopped. Like, it wasn't a thing like, I'm like, yo, I love this girl, but I'm gonna keep on, do this. No, when I decided I loved her, I was done with texting anybody, right? And so even at 18, 19, I was mature enough to say, okay, I found my person. I'm gonna risk it all this time, and that's what I did. But so I can't tell you because I know I've entertained other women, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's guys that get up to the line until they know they can trust you, and 3 months is not a lot of time, and you don't know how far he is going toward love. And so I can say you're not overreacting, but I also don't know what his motivation is, what you've offered in a relationship, the context of how you even communicate, and the context of what he was saying to that other woman. So I can't say you were overreacting or wasn't. I don't think you were overreacting, but I can't say that he's a cheater or will cheat or whatever. It depends on what you see him text that other woman. There's a lot of gray areas in life, and this is one of them. A lot of times guys just take a while to really commit, but once they commit, they're done. I was telling girls my name was Taken when I was a young man. I was really, really a little bit too nice. I was telling girls my name was Taken, and this is after texting chicks on the side. So you don't really know. At least I don't know enough. Crystal P, I held it down. He was jobless. He said he will pay me back. He paid me back the money I spent, but has yet to since he started working, and he thinks we should go 50-50. I think that's problematic. I don't know what you do. I don't know who makes more money. But I know I've done a 50-50 video recently. And again, God, I got so much. I don't agree with you. I don't give a fuck what you agree with. Everybody, a relationship should be very specific to their situation, their living expenses, their jobs, their careers. Like, two people working at McDonald's, I don't want to hear that 50-50 shit. If I got an entry level job and you got an entry level job, we going 50-50 because we poor. we fucking poor. Now, if I got a medium level job, now we can figure something out. When I met my wife, we was broke. We didn't have no money. Like, we was broke, but I made like 45 to 60% more than her. So I paid the difference in the bills. I wanted to make sure that after we paid bills, we both had the same amount of spending money. So had we paid 50-50, she would have had a significantly lower percentage of spending money. I would have had a few $100s after bills, and she would have had like $100 or like $80. But I made sure that if I had $200 in my pocket, she had $200 of hers, because we was a team. We was a partnership, right? And too many of these women out here, I'll be honest, too many of these women out here don't understand partnership. They think I ain't going 50-50 with no man. That's a roommate. Okay, well, go get your ass a roommate, or go get your ass one of these high value men who treat you like dog shit. Okay, because if you ain't built nothing for yourself, and that man ain't built nothing for himself, and y'all decide y'all gonna build together, y'all are forming a partnership or a team. A team ain't worried about who's doing what. Like, the gender roles mean a whole lot less when you understand partnership. Okay, so, and once you establish that, okay, one of us is doing much better. The man is doing much better. He finally got on his shit. He's got his grind now, make a significant portion. My wife ain't paid a bill. She ain't had to work since in like 8 years. My wife has not worked in like 8 years. She hasn't had to, but she works her ass off around this house. So it's still 50-50. We still putting in what we have to put in. She making sure these boys is right. She homeschooling my son. She working her ass off, making sure this whole ship stays ahead. Right? She managing my business. My wife is working her ass off. She just don't go to work. So nothing is ever really 50-50. You're supposed to be putting in, and too many people are focusing on 50-50 because they don't understand partnership, right? What can we do to get ourselves the furthest, right? Well, we can, first of all, stop trying to figure out how to keep score and just put everything we are into this. Well, how do we do that? Well, I'll do it financially because I got the more money, but you can do it because you got the more time or more energy or the more this or that. You work with each other based on what your goals are as a team and what your skills are as a team. That's why on basketball teams, it's 5 different positions because it's supposed to be 5 different skill sets out there. On a team, it's 2 of y'all. Y'all supposed to be bringing different skill sets. So 50-50, I don't have a problem with 50-50. I like 50-50 in proportion to the finances, meaning you both still have a fair amount of the same amount of spending money. You shouldn't be buying Gucci bags when he can't afford a fucking pair of shoes because he's supposed to pay all the bills and you're a woman. That ain't how it works. If you believe in equality, you better get your ass out there and contribute something, or you make sure your man got as much spending money as you do, because that's what a partnership does. You take care of each other. You make sure each other are good. You're not trying to shine on your partner or ball out. I don't believe in that. So if I don't give a fuck who write me about 50-50, if you ain't been broke with somebody before, if you ain't struggled with nobody, I ain't trying to hear that. Because a lot of y'all women, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of y'all women ain't trying to struggle with no man. You don't even want to deal with a man. You're like, don't deal with no man, girl. Get your man, go get yourself a man that got some money. And then you wonder why you don't get the loyalty of a woman who would have struggled with him. Most men require that a woman be at least willing to struggle with them. They don't want to believe that if they lose their job, their woman's gonna leave them because he ain't bothering them. Like, I guess I could do a whole live on that, but I can tell you that 50-50 is appropriate for some people. But in your context, I think your man's just kind of being an asshole, and be honest with you. So I got on a 50-50 tangent, but back to your question, your man seems to be a little bit of an asshole, so I'm not really feeling him. Keandra Sanders, I hope I answered your question. Man, I was talking too much. My ex and I have been separated for a year. Besides his cheating, he was abusive. The last incident, he beat me while I was pregnant in front of our kids. He claimed he changed, but I'm afraid to go back. Fuck him. Never speak to him again. Why are you still in contact with him? Suck it. Like, fuck that guy. Don't go back to that guy. Like, never, ever, ever, ever go back to that guy. In fact, I don't know why you don't have a restraining order. Why are you still in contact with that guy? Why he know your email address? You need to get away from that guy. Like, never, never, never. I'd be done killed. I don't know what the man in your family doing, but he'd be a dead motherfucker if he was in my family, straight up. Anyway, you know, put me into a bad place. I'd be done killed somebody over that, straight up. Mother gotta go. Jessica Williams. Why would the man I was dating lie about their age? Let me calm myself down. He knew I would eventually find out but he still lied. We dated for about 6 months. Men lie about their age because they're insecure about their age. They don't want to seem like the old man lurking at the local high school, right? They're also struggling with their the loss of their youth, just like everyone else. And men struggle with it a little bit more, so they always often lie about their age. I've met countless women who've had a guy who was 36 or 42 and lied about it. I met a guy. I was at the gym with some guy. Like, yo, how old are you, bro? He like, oh man, I'm 37. Bro, we can look you up. You in the system. you 43, bro. What you doing? Like, guys just be sometimes the guys who have insecurities and the need to look good to others lie about their age. That's just a natural human instinct for some people. Crystal P. I make more money, but he lives with his grandma and doesn't pay any bills. I'm mad. He said he'll pay me back and buys clothes and sneakers without paying me. If he buys clothes and sneakers, then he has a money management problem. So he's not paying you back. So he doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect his promises that he makes to you. And he also is a piss poor money manager. That's different. A piss poor money manager is always going to put a strain on your household. Never date a man who's a piss poor money manager. It always seems like I'm talking against guys with money, and I'm not talking against guys with money, because guys with money can have as much confidence, as much integrity and as much moral and character than everybody else. I do well enough. Right. And I'm still the same person I've always been. But the problem is, you make more money than him, but he's a piss poor money manager. So he's going to bring you down. He's going to be in your pockets. Before long, his clothes and shoes are going to eat up his budget, and he's going to be in your pockets trying to figure out what he can get fresh with your money. So I don't think that this is a good investment, a good relationship, and I think you need to move away from this. I don't care about, listen, I don't have a problem with guys with money. What I do have a problem with is piss poor money managers, okay? Piss poor financial stewards, okay? Irresponsible spenders, right? Women always talking about broke men. I don't give a fuck if a man make $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year. If he's a piss poor money manager, you will always struggle with him because he's not financially literate, right? He has no wisdom financially. And so it doesn't matter if he's a baller, if he's spending all his money on Mercedes and Gucci and Louis and Prada and Da Vinci and whatever the hell people are wearing now. I don't wear that shit. I don't think a man should be trying to be prettier than a woman. I would just be honest with you. But if if he's a piss poor money manager, you do better to have a mediocre man with a mediocre job to have a piss poor money manager man who makes a lot of money, to be quite honest. I'm gonna get into a couple of these questions. Somebody said, I haven't got the hang of super chat. Thank pretty girl. So I asked my question and realized after I messed up, so I sent the $5 sticker instead. Brenda says, ghosted on me once. Oh, maybe did she write 2 messages? Oh, make sure. Okay. Brenda says he ghosted on me again. I don't even know why all that happened, but how do I avoid this kind of person? Why do they do that? What makes a man break a woman's heart for no reason? I don't know enough. I don't have enough context on your situation, Brenda. But since you super chatted and since you showed me love, write me on Instagram if you have Instagram. If not, Google me and just put Brenda, so I can see it. And when I respond, then you can tell me all about your situation. But I need to know what's going on. But people ghost because they're conflict avoidant and they're afraid to look like the bad guy or even feel like the bad guy and deal with the repercussions of watching somebody be hurt in real time. So many times people ghost you because they don't want to see the damage that you're doing. So they turn away as they hurt you. It's almost like when somebody in the block is trying to kill somebody for the first time and they turn their head away or they close their eyes. Like you hear about people even in the military who have to take their first life, and it's like it's traumatizing to see yourself do something you believe is wrong or evil or shouldn't be done. And those are the most extreme circumstances, obviously. But in the same way, people want to feel like good people. And the first thing they do when they can is hide their hands away from their eyes while they're doing something bad so they don't feel guilty for it. And they don't see the damage that they caused. That's why if you ever watched anything like a murder investigation or something, immediately when the police officers walk into a room with a person who's been killed and the sheets over their head or pillows over their face or something like that, the police know that it was a crime done by somebody who knows them, because only someone who knows you and has compassion for you will then cover up your face after they've done something like that to you, because they feel guilty and they feel hurt by what they've done. They have an emotional connection to you. And that's kind of the same way. I don't know if I went too dark with that, but message. Rena W. How can I ask a guy I only went on 2 dates with why he decided not to go on another? Would it be weird? No, it's kind of an exit interview. It will be unique. It's not something that people normally do, but if you want real feedback, sometimes you have to ask hard questions and be willing to take criticism. And so you just let him know that it's not you begging for him to come back. It's not you asking for another chance. You're just curious as to what you could be contributing that makes people walk away if you're seeing a pattern with people. I think it's an investigative report. I think it's a smart thing to ask for feedback, and you're not going to save face doing that. But I think we spend too much time in our life trying to save face instead of trying to grow and trying to evolve as people. So I respect it. It's not going to be common. It will be weird, but it definitely will be something you hold on, pretty good. Letty B, we're gonna find your second super chat, hopefully, and then we're gonna okay, bet on. Okay, got it. Letty B, here's your second super chat. Love and respect. Thank you for super chatting for your second super chat. She says, I asked. He said I was wife material, and had never met a woman as well put together as me. Was surprised he was a businessman and a man who would like to pursue. Because of his character, and a man who I would imagine you said I would like to pursue because of his character. We talk every day. Now I have to figure out what the first part of the question was, because now I've forgotten the context. Pretty girl, can you send me her first question if it's still available, so I can put those two together, so I can figure out exactly what the context was. I've answered a lot of questions. Now I'm a little bit confused. Hold on. All right, so I'm mostly caught up. All right, hold on. They said the super chat is not available. So what I would do, Letty B, drop your Instagram IG, drop your IG at, and I can see all the super chats once I log off of here. Once we stop the live, drop your IG at, and I'll Instagram you the answer to your question, because I can't find the first question in context, and it's not fair for you to keep having a super chat to get the one answer or one giant answer. So drop your Instagram at or your email address, and I will email you the answer to your whole question in totality, instead of trying to fragment together these pieces, if that makes sense. And that way you get your answer. You get it specific to you. Top Cat, Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm not sure what currency that is, but hey, I appreciate y'all watching me all over the world. She said, why do they not commit to you, but leave and instantly step up and love the next woman? Um, Feel very tricked and used like a placeholder bed warmer for this one. Yes, that's exactly what happened. You were pretty much potentially an experiment or a placeholder. And it sounds so malicious, but it's not. People don't know what they want, and people have a change of heart. When a guy meets you, he's assessing whether or not you have what he needs, if you're what he wants, in a lot of different ways. And too often um, women get very attached to the idea, very attached to the emotions behind what it could be, that they start acting as a girlfriend or as a wife or as somebody who has a commitment, and they give everything they are to a person who hasn't really given them anything outside of interest or energy or attention for a time. And if you don't have a commitment, you shouldn't be acting like a bed warmer. I keep telling y'all, listen, I know some people are sexually liberated and they can go around and have sex with every person they go on a date with. Some of y'all not built like that. Some of y'all don't have it in you to sleep with every single man that you date for a few dates. So you go to a couple of restaurants with. Some of y'all get emotionally attached, and you feel tricked, and you feel like a placeholder. You feel like a bed warmer after a person has a change of heart, but you didn't date them long enough to figure out if they were going to have a change of heart or if you were compatible in the first place. You didn't give them time enough to process, and then once they process, there's nothing here, or I'm not really interested in her. Once they get to that conclusion, they draw that conclusion, they have a legitimate change of heart. It feels like a betrayal at that point because you've invested too much, you've overinvested. And because they asked for it, it felt like it was a request for something in the future when it was a request for the now. It was, hey, we're bored, let's have some sex. Hey, we're bored, let's do this thing. Like, hey, we're bored, let's act like a couple. Hey, we're bored, you're mine for the night. But it doesn't mean that they want you and they love you and they care about you. And it's very, very, very important that you understand if you're the type of woman who can have casual relationships or not. If you're not the type of woman who can have casual relationships, you need to stop having sex with men who don't love you. And until a man has given you a commitment, until a man has told you who you are and what you will be to him, don't have sex with him, because you don't have that energy to give back. You can't require a man to not change his mind just because he's been inside of you, and that's what a lot of women would hope to do. And it's not fair to him because it wasn't required before. It shouldn't be required now. And also, you've done yourself a disservice, because if a guy didn't commit to you already, why would you give him anything that you can't get back in hopes that it makes him commit? You cannot convince a man with some ass to love you. And so just be very, very careful how you move. And so they don't commit to you because they don't have to. They've gotten everything they needed or wanted in lieu of not committing. And then somebody that they've been chasing who hasn't given as much will ultimately get their attention and get everything that you wanted to get. But yeah, that's just how it happens. People are still choosing who they want. And so until a man chooses you to be that woman he wants to give everything to, you can't have sex with him. Or at least it's in poor taste to. It's a poor decision. Love and respect. I'm sorry that's happened to you, but you got to slow yourself down. Stop fantasizing and operating off of that fantasy, and start moving in reality and what a man's offered you, what a man's giving you, before you decide that you want to take it to the next level or be a bed warmer, so to speak. Sabrina T, love and respect. Oh no, I'm gonna do Crystal first because she's about to disappear, or her super chat's gonna disappear. Crystal P says, second, an ex-friend I stopped speaking to for 3 years. She is reaching out, but she hurt me, is speaking ill of me with her family, claiming I hurt her. What to do? I don't know, man. I don't fuck with fair. I don't really deal with fair weather friends. I think if a person shows me once what they're capable of, I'll love them, and I'll even encounter them again, and we can be cool, and I'll treat them well, but I'll never really trust them again. And so we can never be whatever we were, right? We can be cool, but now I'm cool within context to what I know of you, what I can expect of you. See, I don't set expectations on people. I just deal with what I've gotten from you, right? Whatever I've gotten from you, I understand that that's what you have the propensity to be. So if you betray me once, then I understand that you have the propensity to do that again. So I have to deal with you in the way that you deal with somebody who you know might backstab you, or who you know might change directions on you at the drop of a hat. And so for me, I understand that's your friend and you probably miss her. love and respect her, and you can be cordial with her, but you always have to remember what she has the propensity to do when she feels slighted, right? Because I'm gonna be honest, loyalty and love are different. Loyalty sometimes is better than love because, again, like like a lot of people say right now, it's a common message going around. I can be loyal to a person I don't mess with no more. Like I have people who I'm not as close as I used to be with, but I never speak ill on them. I still want them to do well. I still love them, but I still don't talk down on them. I still want everybody to think good about them. I still want them to have great networks. I still want them to have great connections. I just don't need to be that connection, right? Because I'm loyal forever. If I'm with you, I'm with you forever. I never speak down on you. But some people are not like that, and when I see that that's missing, I don't never expect it from a person again. So do what you will with that, but you can be cool with her, but I don't think you'll ever be with you. If you're smart, you'll never trust her the same way you trusted her before, and that's not keeping a grudge. That's just being smart. Sabrina T. I have roommates and vacation together recently and got very close, cuddling only. My roommate and I vacationed together recently, got very close, cuddling only. We're spending every day together, making future plans. He says there's no spark and we're just friends. What should you do? Stop cuddling with him before you get banged and then you wonder what happened, why he doesn't want more. If he's cuddling with you and he says there's no spark, he will still screw you. That does not mean he won't screw you, but he will screw you and press you into some couch cushions and still tell you, hey, I don't feel a spark, and still keep coming back for some ass. Don't do it. If he tells you there's no spark, just believe him. That's what you do, and move out if you can't regulate your emotions outside of that. Lisa Smith, and then I got some questions in the phone, a couple free questions in the phone. I'll get to too. Lisa Smith says, X came back after 2 months. She said he loves me, tries to hide it, plays games, broke up again after his bad communication. Now he hates hearing about my emotions. What do you think? It sounds like you two don't have the skill set to communicate with each other in a way that is received. It sounds like he doesn't receive your emotions and he has trouble processing not only your emotions, but his emotions as well. So you could potentially need counseling to get to a center place, but he also needs individual counseling because it sounds like he has an issue not only communicating his emotions, but communicating in general, and also regulating his thoughts and feelings around other people communicating their emotions. So it sounds like he needs individual counseling and both of you need relationship counseling. But if you're just boyfriend and girlfriend, that seems like a lot of work and a big investment to make for two people who've already come together and broken up a couple of times. So I think you should probably just go somewhere else and get somebody who has the relationship skill set. Too many of y'all are focused on sparks and not, now I'm not talking about you, Lisa, but too many people are focused on sparks and what they call chemistry, which is just basically crush. But they're focused on that and they're not picking people based on their relationship skill sets. Um, so Maria Washington, love and respect. She says, I have been abstinent for over a year and waiting on who God has for me. However, sometimes I feel like I'm not going to be anyone's choice. How can I stay encouraged during this season? You stay encouraged by not wasting time with people who don't want what you want. Too often, when somebody's abstinent or when somebody's going through a phase where they want to make smart decisions and they're being wise about who they accept into their life. Sometimes they spend too much time looking at investigating and entertaining the wrong entities, and it gives you such a draining response, and it sucks so much life from you in your search for love and partnership, that by the time you find the right guy, you're too exhausted and you're just like, listen, I'm just not dating right now. I'm tired. Right. And so I would say date as efficiently as possible. Don't stay too long when a guy is clear that he doesn't want anything. As soon as a guy starts that sexual shit and you've already expressed to him that, hey, you're just trying to find somebody that can be important to you, that wants to be important to somebody, that's looking for a female partner, somebody that can really get close to. As soon as it becomes obvious that he doesn't call, he's not texting enough, he's iffy between dates, he's aloof, move on. Don't try to convince them. Stop worrying about sparks. No spark chasing. Just move on. Too often, women exhaust themselves chasing the chemistries that they found, when chemistry is just your crush for another person. A lot of women, 1,000 women have told me they had chemistry with a guy who wasn't returning their phone calls. Now, who the hell had chemistry? The woman waiting for the phone, waiting by the phone, or the guy not thinking about her ass? Doesn't sound like he had any chemistry. So chemistry clearly doesn't go both ways. Sparks clearly don't go both ways. So respond to the man and invest your energy in the man that are investing the right energy and the appropriate types of energy in you. But again, It's a numbers game, so you have to keep going. You can't give up. You got to keep going, so that you got to get through the 20 or the 30 to get to the one. So don't give up. Okay, lady B. We screenshot it. I'm gonna send you the answer to your question probably tomorrow when I wake up. We got your Instagram. I'm gonna Instagram you. I'll follow you on Instagram and then shout you and then talk to you about it. Let me make sure I got everybody. Okay, so cool. I can get into. I'm back into the comment section, y'all. Y'all been keeping me busy. Okay, I'm at the bottom now. Can Jokey ain't this a bitch? Oh. That was a long time ago. Damn, boy, that was a while ago. I almost read that again. Sierra, what to do when your ex blocked you after asking for help paying for our baby furniture, and I'm 9 months pregnant. He has a 6-figure career and refuses to communicate to co-parent. Uh, what to do? You go down to the local child support office, the local government building, and you go get your damn money. You go get your child support. That's what you do. If that's his baby, you go get your child support. Stop trying to work it out with these deadbeats. Stop trying to work. Don't even worry about trying to get him to co-parent peacefully. He's not going to do that because what he cares about is his money. He does not care about his child. And if a man has not wrapped his head around the responsibility and the commitment that it takes to be a father, I have no sympathy for him. Stop screwing deadbeat dads, period. I wish women would stop screwing deadbeat dads all around the world. I should probably make a state. I don't even know. I might already have a t-shirt. Don't screw deadbeat dads. Stop screwing deadbeat dads. This guy has no regard for his infant, no regard for the life and the environment that his child grows up in. If he won't respond to you and he's blocked you because you're pregnant, if you know it's his baby, or if you go down to child support, they're gonna make you take a test anyway. So just go down and get your child support money. That way you ain't gotta ask him for nothing. But also be a better chooser and be a better selector of men. Tells me you didn't have either you didn't have enough information or you made a hasty decision choosing him because you should have known enough about him to know that he was either going to be a sack of shit or not. And I'm not blaming you for him being a sack of shit, but I want you to make sure that this is the last time that you have this type of situation with a guy who acts brand new after you have a kid. That's all I'm saying. I'm not blaming you for his bullshit, but I'm just saying make sure that you are much safer moving forward. And I know you're not supposed to tell people that because it's victim blame. I don't give a fuck. I'm a father. I feel like all y'all brother. I'm a cousin. I'm a family member. Like as a man, I want the women in my family to move a certain way, and I can only tell you how I tell them. And you got to make better decisions with these guys. Just because a guy's supposed to be high value doesn't mean he's high morals, high values, high character. A lot of these guys have values and have no damn values. So there you go. But go get your money. Just go to child support. They're gonna make him take a test. If it's his, they're gonna get his money, and that's how you move it. And then you just find somebody else. Focus on parenthood. Obviously, be very careful how you move the guys you choose, but focus on somebody else. Somebody said, "How can I move in how can I move in with a guy with 3 kids?" Are you saying you got 3 kids or he got 3 kids? So that's a question. That sounds like a difficult task, but it's possible. It depends on who's got the 3 kids and what he thinks about it or what you think about those 3 kids. And I'm probably gonna lose you. And some porn. Godly. Okay, they delete. So y'all don't see the porn spam. These porn people been on YouTube crazy lately. Crazy. Also, a lot of people has been getting hacked on YouTube. And they're not getting hacked. YouTube makes it apparently way too easy to make duplicate accounts. I know there was a Kev Hick with my picture and everything, posting links in the comments and shit, and it was not me. You could, if the account is not verified, if their comments are not highlighted, it's not me. Never respond to any creators' comments in the comment section when they drop a link if you don't see the highlight. On YouTube, the way YouTube shows you that a person is verified is that their comments, their name is highlighted. If it says Kev Hick or Kev Hick Talks Guys with Girls, there's a border around my name in any comment I leave. Every single comment I leave has that border. It is a gray or blue. I think it's great. When somebody comments and you don't see that circle around my name, it's not the computer tripping. It's not a glitch. You're talking to a bot or a scammer trying to get some money from you. I don't use WhatsApp. I never use WhatsApp. I have a rule against WhatsApp. The only time I use WhatsApp is to make my international calls. That is it. So I have a couple clients in India, a couple clients from Japan, a couple clients in Sweden, a couple clients in Europe. I got clients in Africa. I have very specific people that I know that I talk to on WhatsApp, but those are phone conversations. I do not take money or payments or anything like that on WhatsApp. So never give anybody money. If you see a WhatsApp number getting dropped in my comment section, understand that I just haven't seen it to delete it yet. So tell me it's there or just don't talk to, but never, ever, ever listen to a WhatsApp. I will never give my phone number in the comment section in a WhatsApp. That just ain't my shit. Like that's different. That's so don't get scammed. WhatsApp is always used for scams, and y'all can't respond to WhatsApp anything. Let me see. I'm gonna beat your name up, so I'm just gonna answer your damn question. Valentina, love and respect. Anyway, what's your advice on how to know for sure whether or not a guy who's been through abuse really loves you if he's given mixed signals? If he's been through abuse and he's given mixed signals, he needs to go get some counseling because that's a relationship issue. Right now you're dating, so it's like, oh, I just need to know if he really likes me. But if that's how he functions, then he's functioning at a low level, and he's probably going to function like that in your relationship, and that leads to a very toxic relationship. So you need to figure out exactly what he has a propensity to become when he's healthy, because you're not dealing with a healthy minded man if he's suffering from abuse and it's so obvious that you could define it from letting me know that it's suffering. You had to preface it with he's been through abuse. And so for me, I think he needs to get that abuse taken care of. He needs to get some mental health help. If he wants to go to betterhelp.com, I can drop the link. But betterhelp.com/Kev. Make sure you use my link. But you definitely need to figure out if he can get some help, because otherwise you're going to be unsatiated in that area of a relationship or the whole relationship until you get some help. Do you think that chemistry, spark, or connection should be considered when it comes to dating? Of course, we should all seek values, goals, and future plans in line. But what if no chemistry? Chemistry is a matter of perspective and a state of mind. I've coached over 4,000 women, and I stopped counting after 4,000 because what the hell's the point after that? But well over. And I can tell you that the women who are running around here talking about how much chemistry they have with a person are almost never being fed what they need in a relationship. They're actually making the decision based on the chemistry, and that chemistry forces you to be in a mental place where you're fantasizing about how that chemistry can turn into a healthy relationship. But that person usually isn't exhibiting relationship skills. So you need to judge the relationship skills of a person. I can tell you that of those many thousands of people, and at least half of them were women who were trying to figure out how to either move a relationship forward or see if a guy liked them or what their chemistry meant. Many of them also had somebody in the friend zone or somebody that they didn't have chemistry with. Of those women who actually gave a real chance to the guys that had the relationship skills that they had no chemistry with, they found that they could actually develop chemistry. Chemistry is just a crush. A spark is just a crush. A connection is just another word for crush. Those are the three most misused words in dating. And I'll probably do a video about that very soon. But crush, chemistry, connection is really frustrating to hear as a dating coach, because most of the time it just means I have a crush on this guy. And so now I'm trying to legitimize everything he does because I want him to be the one, not because he is the one. So, yeah, I understand that people want to have a crush on the person that they're dating. But I also know that if a person is generally attractive and not repulsive and a good person to have relationship skills, if you remove the need to have a crush on them and to have a fog and rose-colored glasses, if you just remove that need, if you give yourself space to just observe them and become friends with them, you realize very quickly that they are actually somebody that you can have a much stronger chemistry or connection or crush on, because you can value their humanity before you just decide you like them for no reason and then have to try to figure out how to justify why you like them later on. And usually that just becomes a sexual experience with somebody. Now, if you both have a crush on each other, then that is magical to have a mutual crush. But most of the time, when a woman is using chemistry and crush and all of that, she's dealing with a man who's giving her mixed signals, and she actually just has a crush on that behavioral pattern and not the actual guy. You can insert any dumbass guy, and as long as he's hot and cold and inconsistent, a woman's going to say they have chemistry. Every guy that's consistent, she's going to say she has no spark with. It's the behavior that women are falling for, not the actual guys. That's why all of you, or most of you, or many of you, I'm sorry, have a pattern of dealing with the same bullshit in a lot of different forms. You say, I don't have a type. I date nerds, I date jocks, I date professionals, I date thugs, I date this and that and the other. And the only thing that links them, only thing that they all have in common is that they were high and cold. They treated you like shit sometimes. They treated you great sometimes. They gave you full attention. They gave you partial attention. They were here, they were there. That behavior is what causes women to get attracted to it gets their attention. And that's what causes the idea of there being a connection or a crush, because most of the women I've met can't even tell me that they're impressed by anything specific about the guy outside of the fact that he's just like manly. And it's just because he makes them feel like he could leave at any minute and doesn't give a damn. And that feels masculine, but that's actually not an indication of masculinity at all. So anyway, I'm on a tangent. I guess I could talk about that all day. Maybe we will sometimes, but we got to get back to this questions. So these men start off so perfect, then after they turn evil. Vanessa, that's true of many men, but it's as true as for many women. I speak to a lot of evil women. I do. I talk to they listen to me for advice, and then they I figure out that they're the issue, they're the problem, and their man is lucky to get away from them. So that can be said both ways. So just be very careful not to assume uh, anything of anybody, and that way you're not surprised when humans become humans and do something imperfect. When to decide to be exclusive when dating? When it becomes apparent that this person is committed to what that actually means. If you're trying to convince a man to be exclusive, or you're trying to be exclusive just because you've gotten a little bit jealous, or you're trying to be exclusive because you are anxious about where you stand with the man, that's not necessarily um, time, right or wrong, to be exclusive. When it's time to be exclusive, when a man can tell you he's been exclusive and really mean it, and you can tell it to a man and really mean it. When neither of you really want to explore other relationships with people, that's when it's time. But it has to be mutual, and so it's not to be rushed, but it's also not to be procrastinated about either. So I guess that's a very ambiguous and non-helpful answer, but it'd be like that. Somebody said too many of us are socialized to be comfortable with being so self-critical to uphold femininity to the point of self-sabotage. True femininity oozes self-worth. This has helped me greatly. I don't disagree with the lady blurred at all. Thanks, Kev. But how do I deal with the guy who's becoming distant, cold, and says he's going through something? You let him be distant, cold, and you go somewhere else. Listen, some of y'all, again, we talking about relationship skills. When you going through shit in a relationship, do you want your partner to be a rock? Do you want your partner to be a support system? Do you want your partner to be there with you and for you and go through that with you and help you and hold you up and hold you down? Or do you want a person who's going to disappear when shit get hard, who's a fair weather friend, who's a fair weather mate or partner? You want somebody who's going to support you through shit and actually, let you know that you're not alone? Or you want somebody who's going to detach because that's how they deal with problems? That's not a relationship skill. In fact, that's the void of a relationship skill. That's the lack of a relationship skill. Men who run away when they're going through something they like need counseling, but they don't have the skill set to be dependent upon. And I think that a man's dependability has to be a deal breaker. If you're not dependable, then what the hell are you doing? And so love and respect to the gentleman. But if a man's distant and cold and says he's going through something and won't even communicate that to you, boy, these porn people are tripping right now. If a man's not even communicating what he's going through with you, and you're supposed to be close to each other, you're supposed to be special to each other, that's problematic. So again, it's about having the relationship skills, and I think that he's lacking those, at least that one. Um, so do with that what you will. How to tell if a guy wants to get serious. How to tell a guy that wants to get serious that you will only have sex in a committed exclusive relationship. Tell him that. Just say it. Just say it. Hey, listen, I really enjoy what we have. I'm excited about what's growing, but I don't want you to feel like you know I'm being funny, but I can't have sex with a person who's not in love with me, I'm not in a committed relationship with. I hope we get to that point. I'm really crossing my fingers. But I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm disappointed or I feel used or I feel like I've been uh, uh, betrayed in any way, and I don't want to feel like I don't think it's fair for me to date you and expect that of you just because we've done something. So let's just take that off the table until we know who we are to each other. There are a lot of ways you can say something. You can say anything in the world. You just have to find the right words and the right combination of words to say it. You can start with something similar to what I just said. You might have to rewind this tape later. We're at 2 hours and 13 minutes into this conversation. I think I have about 10 minutes left. So this will be done here pretty soon. So last 10 minutes for those who give a damn about the countdown. But that's how you do that. You just express it to him, and so that way there's no confusion. So if he just wants some ass, he realized, okay, I won't get the ass if I'm committed. I never had any intentions on committing. Let me just go away then, and he won't waste your time. That'd be a good thing. Or if he says, okay, well, I want a commitment too. I just didn't know if it was appropriate. I didn't know if I was welcome. I didn't know if it was time or if you were there yet. Let's be together. That's cool too. Um, Either or. Um, Somebody says, oh no, don't leave us there. Yeah, I got 10 minutes. It's movie night. Me and Ash gonna watch something. Um, Kev help with the exclamation point. Oasis. How do I signal to a guy to pursue me? We both like each other, but we both suck at communication skills. Um, just befriend him, get to know him, and if you already know him, uh, just ask him if he wants to hang out. Sometimes it's okay for a woman to make the first move if there's familiarity, if there's a rapport, if you know you're dealing with somebody who's responsible and safe with that information. Like we have to stop living our lives to not look bad or to not embarrass ourselves or to save face. Like you cannot live your whole life afraid of what people think or afraid of rejection, afraid of failure. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is that successful people see failure as an opportunity. Non-successful people see failure as a tragedy. Therefore, they put themselves in positions where they cannot fail. The least risk presented is the better for them, but they never go anywhere. They usually work entry level jobs or in the same companies and in disenchanted positions, in positions that they just aren't happy with and fulfilled with. They're less fulfilled, they're less happy, they're less outgoing, they're less fulfilled. Like I don't give a damn if it's approaching a guy or chasing your dreams. You cannot live your life with the fear that if you put yourself out there and somebody's like, nah, I'm good, that your life is going to be over. Remember when you were in high school and you thought everything that was happening was like the biggest thing in the world? Now, as adults, you look back and you're like, what the fuck happened in high school again? Like, what happened? Like, if somebody told you what happened, you had to really think about, oh man, I think I remember that. Like, it was so significant at that point. But as adults, you look back like, oh, that wasn't shit. I thought life was hard then. It's hard now. Right. In the same way, one day you'll look back at your fear of this person in this moment and you'll be like, what the hell was I so afraid of? And why? Why did I let that control me at that point? Why didn't I just go after it? Right. I'm so happy with my life. I'm so happy with my wife, my kids, where I am professionally, my finances, the house I'm building. I'm fulfilling promises and checking off boxes that I've created when I was 16 years old. But I can tell you this, I still regret the fears that controlled me in those moments. One time, and I was in 10th grade, I should have dunked a basketball. If I had dunked a basketball in this game, played basketball, obviously, I would have dunked on like 3 people because everybody was right there. And I was a monstrously athletic person, a monstery athletic. You'd 6'2.5", 6'3", and I got like a 40-something inch vertical. Like I was insanely athletic. And I remember I tried to lay it up because the fear of missing the dunk or getting in trouble by my coach stopped me in midair. And I tried to finger roll it because I was frozen in fear and missed the damn layup. To date, I think that's one of my worst high school memories. Like I've never gotten over that. Never. Shit, that was 20 years ago, 19, 18, 17 years ago. And I'm still pissed off that 15-year-old Kevin didn't dunk in the faces of those people that was on the just that one moment in the game. I should have dunked. And I'm mad that fear stopped me. Right at the moment, I was like, man, the only significant portion of that memory is that fear made that decision for me. Not that I had a bad moment, not that I was embarrassed, not that anything. I'm just disgusted that I let fear make that decision. I say all that to say, if you like that guy, just ask him to hang out. Ask him to see if he wants to do something, read a book with you, watch a TV show with you, go to lunch or breakfast before COVID shuts everything down again. Stop living in fear. Jennifer Tate. Advice. I keep getting ghosted by the second date. Feminine fit, full life. Meet men out. Will meet men out there, cover tab, etc., but won't call. No luck since breakup 2 years ago. I don't know what type of guys you are dating. I don't know what type of vibe you're giving off. I don't know how you converse with people. I don't know enough about what you present on a date to give you a legitimate answer. But a lot of women and a lot of men are unaware of themselves and how they look to other people. So if you write me on Instagram, I'd like to talk to you about it a little bit more. Just put fit as like the first words, or just put fit, and then when I answer, then we can start the dialogue. Fit is FIT. That way I know who I'm talking to, and that way we can figure out maybe potentially what you're contributing to this. One more question, and I got to get off of here. One more question, I gotta go. Question. Okay, natural beauty, love and respect. She said, doesn't mean anything when a guy asks for hugs during conversation, when meeting for the first time, knowing he only wants friendship at the moment. Doesn't mean anything. So I'm confused. When a guy asks for, I'm imagining you're saying when a guy asks for hugs. If a guy is asking you for a hug, it means he wants to be close to you or he's trying to create sexual tension. So he either likes you and he's honored by the fact that you're hugging him and touching him and breaking the touch barrier, or he's looking to build sexual tension and trying to see how intimate and close and hard and long your hug is. It depends. When I was in 8th grade, a girl used to hug me with her boobs and make sure she pressed them up against me, and it's because she wanted sexual attention from me. And then I've hugged other women who just wanted me to know I was important to them, and I could feel the difference. So he's trying to figure out how you hug him, how you receive him, to see if he has a chance with you. Most of the time, a man can measure by the way a woman hugs him how she feels about him. If you hug him with intention, he knows you feel something for him, and that gives him enough courage to move forward and try to start something and approach you about something. If you hug him like, okay, and you stick your butt away from him and you keep that 12-inch space between your pelvises, and you hug him like you're at a high school dance and you're not allowed to actually touch each other because a teacher's standing next to you chaperoning, then he knows he has no chance. So that's all he's trying to do is figure out how to gauge how you feel about him or how you don't feel about him. So that's why he's asking for hugs and trying to figure out how to break the touch barrier to see if you have any interest. Anyway, I wish I could answer the rest of the questions. It's been very, very wonderful talking to the rest of you, or all of you, I'm sorry, all night. Love and respect. If you need advice, go to girltalkwithguys.com. Spelled just like that, girltalkwithguys.com. Usually it's in my metadata that I put in my description box, so you can just click on it, or it's at the top of the comment in my comment section. Go to girltalkwithguys.com. If you're interested, I still have spots for my 3-month program. So if you're interested in the 3-month program, go to my Instagram, leave me a fire emoji. And I'll talk to you maybe on a Sunday when you have time about my 3-month program. I don't know if I'll have any left by the time some of you get to me, but we can talk about it. I might have some spots left. So I think that's it. 3-month program, shout out. And if you need a call or you need email advice, go to girltalkwithguys.com. Both of them are available there, and that's the only way to get a guaranteed response from me, except for the people who super chatted on this talk. So love y'all, appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna get off of here. Y'all have a good night. It's movie night. All right.